dingers with that one? Oh yeah. Ah. It's like, I'm not gonna hit dingers.
What'd she say? What? Yeah, but she said she could hear something. Bad words.
A while ago, one almost came out. It wasn't edited very well because it was like, oh, maybe this one's going to get bad as it goes along. Yeah, because the first time I ever met him, I mean, they were only like 12. We were playing Sunday Fall League. Kids that didn't play football, and even some kids that did play football, they were playing Mighty Mite stuff, so they were just playing on Saturdays. And it was a Sunday afternoon league over there by Schifferdecker Park in Joplin. And it was the bullpen. Chad Butler and Evan were still with us back then. And we had a couple kids from the O show that were really good, and they were playing football, but they'd come play with us once in a while if they weren't too sore. And that was the first year Miller was going to play. He had tried out for the bullpen. That was the first year he was going to play. And he broke his wrist. Like the week before we were start playing, he breaks his wrist. So it was like we'd play September and October up there. Well, he didn't get the cast off until like 2 weeks left in the season.
I remember that when he broke that.
So he's in a cast the whole season, but he's in the dugout, you know, just being Miller.
Yeah.
Keeping everybody
Loose.
laughing and loose.
Yeah.
And then finally the last week we got to play. He got the cast off. He got to swing a little bit. And then Aiden was still playing. Richie Ray and I were still coaching the Redbirds at that time. And then we played 13s, or no, we played 12s and 13s with the Redbirds. And then our Redbirds team broke up because our older kids went on to junior high. And then the bullpen, Steve Shoemaker was coaching the bullpen still at that time. And he called me and said, would Aiden come play with them? And I said, yeah. And so Aiden went back to the bullpen, and Miller was still playing with him. Bodie was playing, and Simon, and Evan had quit playing at the bullpen at that time. He went to that team down at Springdale. Perfect timing or whatever it was.
Right.
But the rest of them were all still there playing the bullpen. He got 2 years of Miller's minutes. He'll talk to anybody.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, he'll just go up and start talking. He gets on base, or if he was a defense, he just starts talking to the guy. Either running the bases or the defender, or he's out there on base. He just starts talking to the guy.
Doesn't care.
I can't remember where we were at playing a tournament somewhere, and there was a girl working the concession stand, and somebody got to talking about her. Miller goes, well, go talk to her. And the kid, he said, oh, he goes, I'm not going to go talk to her. He goes, well, I'll go tell her you want to talk to her. And I mean, he takes off for the concession stand, and they had to run him down, because he would have. He would have running there and said, see that guy right there? He was talking.
Oh, yeah.
He'll tell anybody anything. And a very pleasant good evening, everyone, and welcome to Anderson, Missouri. We are coming to you live tonight from McDonald County High School. The Mustangs hosting the Cassville Wildcats Big 8 Conference West Division football tonight here on the Talon Sports Network, and glad to be along with you here for week number 5 of the high school football season. It's hard to believe, but we've hit the midway point of the regular season, and this will end a rather busy road schedule for the Cassville Wildcats to start 2023. Three of their first 5 games on the road, but 3 of their last 4 are all at home. But on the road tonight, taking on the Mustangs, and we're looking forward to the coverage here this evening. Glad to be with you on KQMO 97.7 FM, live streaming audio at radiotalon.com, and also live video coverage of the Wildcats on CassvilleWebTV.com. Todd Speakman running the camera for us again tonight. Sammy Clapper along with Jeremy Marple as we get set for this Big 8 showdown here tonight in Anderson. Well, Jeremy, we've hit the midway point of the regular season. Week number 5 has arrived. Cassville spent a lot of time on the road in the first half of the season, and they are on the road again here tonight against a pretty good McDonald County team. Cassville, a record of 3-1 through the first 4. McDonald County 2-2. And it's always a good game, it seems like. In years past, when Cassville has come on the road, they've had a lot of success down here, and they're hoping to continue that success they've got built through the first 4 games here tonight on the road.
Well, the Wildcats sitting at 3-1, as you said. It hasn't been pretty every game, but nonetheless, 3 wins, 1 loss. Coming down here to Anderson to play this McDonald County team that, as we watch both teams warm up, once again, another team that is definitely going to have the size advantage tonight over the Wildcats. So technique is going to come in big time for this Wildcat football team.
Well, we'll jump into tonight's Mercy Hospital pregame show. Mercy Hospital in Cassville, where your life is their life's work. Looking back to last week, Monette fell to Marshfield. Aurora got their first win of the season over Springfield Catholic. Mount Vernon came back in the fourth quarter and beat Rogersville. Seneca won the big battle of unbeatens up in Lamar over the Tigers. Reed Spring blasted Hollister, and Nevada beat Mack County last week 34-7 as the Mustangs fell for the second time this year. Cassville, they picked up a nice home win last week over East Newton, and they're 3-1 on the season. Now, McDonald County had Mount Vernon down in the fourth quarter, and the Mountaineers came back and won that one by 10. And then the Mustangs won at Marshfield by 20. They beat Rogersville and shut out the Wildcats 16-0, but then last week fell to Nevada 34-7. McDonald County, a very big physical football team, and they've kind of had an up-and-down season so far through the first half.
Well, they played some pretty good football teams, too, and to shut out Rogersville, that's impressive to say the least. Mount Vernon, very good over on the east side of the Big 8 Conference. Very talented football team. So they played some good football teams, and they're battle tested. They'll be ready to go tonight.
Last year in Cassville, the Mustangs won 21-14. They built up a 21-0 halftime lead as Destin Dowd, who is back at quarterback for the Mustangs, threw a couple of touchdown passes. He also had a rushing touchdown as the Mustangs had that big lead in the first half. Cassville was limited to what they could do in the first half, but had a much better second half. Bodie Rose threw a couple of touchdown passes in the second half for the Wildcats, but they ended up coming up just short, 21-14, and that was the second win in a row for McDonald County over Cassville. They shut out the Wildcats in 2021. The last time Cassville beat the Mustangs was back in 2020, and they beat them rather handily, 44-21.
Yeah, it's you go back through this series. They've been playing each other long time when the Mustangs weren't in the Big 8 Conference even. So a lot of history between these two teams, and I expect to see a good game out here tonight.
You look around the rest of the Big 8, Monette at Seneca, Aurora at Hollister. Mount Vernon travels to Nevada, so we had the battle of the unbeatens last week with Seneca and Lamar. Tonight it's Mount Vernon and Nevada, both unbeaten at 4-0, going head-to-head. Rogersville's at Catholic, Reed Spring at Marshfield, and Lamar at East Newton. As there's still one crossover game left here and there for the teams in the East and the West, but for the most part from here on out, it's all divisional play.
Yeah, Wildcats, they have one left, Springfield Catholic in another couple weeks. So, yeah, it's interesting. The Big 8 Conference as it sits right now may look a little bit different moving forward, but that's a conversation. I don't know if you want to squeeze any of that in tonight or another time.
That's something we may touch on as we go on with the pregame here. Right now we need to
Let you know that tonight's broadcast team is brought to you by Les Jacobs Ford. Their service department is factory trained and senior master certified. They're friendly, affordable, your trusted choice for over 25 years. Les Jacobs Ford in Cassville. Find them online at lesjacobsfordcassville.com. It's time for tonight's field condition report brought to you by Security Insurance in Cassville. What condition is your insurance in? Are you covered for the hazards of weather or losses unexpected? Call 847-8384. That's 847-8384. Of course, McDonald County's had the artificial surface now for a few years down here. It's a beautiful field at McDonald County High School, so we do not have to worry about any field issues. We had a lot of rain over the last 24 to 36 hours, especially down here in McDonald County. A lot of the rain that missed folks north of I-44 came right through the extreme southwestern part of the state. I know I live, 40, 50 miles back to the east from here, and I got 3 inches, and they were talking about 4 to 6 inches down here in this corner of the state. But with the artificial surface, you don't have to worry about mud or anything like that.
You wouldn't know it. There's no standing water anywhere, maybe a little outside the stadium fence, but certainly nothing in here on this turf.
Field is in great shape, and we are fortunate to have the sun coming out and the clouds giving way to what turns out to be a pretty nice evening after a very rainy morning.
Yeah, it was a little concerning. Got the frog togs out just in case, but I don't think we're going to have to worry about that at all tonight.
I do not think so either. A beautiful evening for high school football here in week number 5. Well, we will continue on with the Mercy Hospital pregame show. Mercy Hospital, where quality care matters. After this break, we'll let you hear from some of our sponsors and be back at Anderson. You're listening to Big 8 Football here on the Talon Network. Tonight's game is not only a competitive contest between these two schools, it's also an educational experience for the students involved because high school activities are about learning life's values. Your friends at the Talon Network and the Missouri State High School Activities Association remind everyone to do their part in keeping our hometown sports a positive experience. When you attend your next game, do your part to help rekindle the spirit of citizenship by showing good sportsmanship. You'll be teaching a positive lesson and you'll be preserving a proud tradition in the state of Missouri. The sportsmanship reminder also brought to you in part by Access Family Care with locations in Cassville, Neosho, Aurora, Mount Vernon, and Joplin. We continue on with the Mercy Hospital pregame show. Mercy Hospital, where quality care matters. And it's time for the Wildcats' keys to victory. Mark Whittemire and the crew at Wesco Home Furnishings in Cassville are looking forward to another great season of Wildcat football. And just like the quality portrayed by each player on the field, Wesco offers that same quality merchandise and customer service. Your keys to victory brought to you by Wesco Home Furnishings in Cassville. And another big offensive and defensive front. It seems like week after week, Cassville just keeps running in to guys that have them outsized across the defensive and offensive lines. And that's where games are won a lot of times. In fact, most times down in the trenches. And that's going to be a key for Cassville tonight to be able to handle some of that size. They did a pretty good job last week against a very big East Newton squad. They're going to have to do it again tonight against McDonald County.
Well, it's nothing new to play the Mustangs and them have just massive offensive lines. The Wildcats have faced those from the Mustangs for years and years. This bunch, they're big, they're pretty good. So as I stated, the technique, the Wildcat offensive linemen, they have to trust their steps, they have to trust their hands, keep their hands inside, and they have to move their feet and don't reach and grab, trust their technique, and move the football.
Mustangs like to sling it around a little bit too. Seneca was the only team that Cassville's played so far that has passed quite a bit, and that still seems weird when you talk about it because Seneca all those years just run, but they do throw the ball more nowadays. Well, McDonald County's got a talented quarterback, a very athletic quarterback. He can run, he can throw, and he likes to get the ball up and down the field. So limiting those big plays, especially with the passing game, is going to be a key tonight.
Yeah, they'll get back and they'll sling it around the field. Pacheco, number one, Josh Pacheco, 6'4", 195-pound target out there, likes to go to him. He's going to win a lot of those jump ball situations. So Wildcat secondary's got their hands full tonight. Linebackers are going to have to get out. But a lot of that comes from your defensive line. If you can get a little pressure from your defensive line and a stunning linebacker or two, that's going to help that secondary tremendously.
The forecast from yesterday, I thought we were going to have to worry about a keys to victory being hanging on to the football because it was going to be a wet and slippery night. But thank goodness Mother Nature and the good Lord has blessed us with a beautiful evening for high school football.
It's a great evening. A little bit of a breeze, not terrible, shouldn't affect the ball too much. I think the playing conditions are just going to be perfect tonight.
Yeah, and it's come around from the northeast, too. After the passage of the rain, it's kind of coming out of the north end zone. So it could affect the flight of the football just a little bit, but nothing too much to speak of here this evening. Again, tonight's Wildcat Keys to Victory brought to you by Mark and the gang at Wesco Home Furnishings. They invite you to stop by and view their wide selection of furniture, mattresses, and appliances at 109 West State Street in Cassville. You can also find them online at wescohome.com. Well, the crowd continuing to gather here in Anderson as the Mustangs get set to take on the Cassville Wildcats. We still got about 15-20 minutes before tonight's opening kickoff as the sun is slowly starting to work its way down behind the hillside across the highway. A beautiful setting here. The football field lays right in the valley. There's a creek over on the other side, and just a beautiful setting here in Anderson, and we're looking forward to the game tonight. We're going to take a break and let you hear some more from our sponsors of tonight's football game, and then be back with more of the Mercy Hospital pregame show after this. You're listening to Wildcat Football here on the Talon Network. Back with you here in Anderson. The Mustang Marching Band is out, and the colors are being presented by the ROTC here at McDonald County High School. So we're going to step aside while the National Anthem is being played. The National Anthem brought to you by the Rib Steakhouse. It's the area's go-to for the best steaks, barbecue, fish, chicken, and more. They're open Wednesday through Saturday, 3 to 9, with specials every night at the Rib. Back after this, you're listening to Big A Football here on the Talon Network. Sammy Clapper and Jeremy Marple back with you here in Anderson. We continue on with the Mercy Hospital pregame show. Mercy Hospital, where your life is their life's work. It's time for the Wildcats starting lineup, brought to you by Fast Trip at 104 South Main in Cassville. Great prices and friendly service is what you'll find at Fast Trip. Stop by today. Locally owned by Mike and Anita Carr. Starting with the offense of the Wildcats, at quarterback, it's Bodie Rose. He's a 5'10", 160-pound junior. He's ran for 279 yards and 5 scores to lead the Wildcats in rushing. Also coming out of the backfield, Bryson Jacobson. He's a 6'1", 185 senior. He's ran for 2 touchdowns so far this year. And Kyle Bailey, a 5'8", 155 junior. He's ran for 258 yards and 2 scores. Wide receivers, Colton Roark, 5'10", 160 sophomore. He's got 62 yards receiving and a touchdown on the season. And Joseph Kraft, he is a 5'9", 160 senior. Tight end, Cosmo Rhodes, a 6'5", 215-pound senior. And the offensive line at center, Isaac Looney, 6', 230 sophomore. Right guard, Ethan Sizemore, 6', 230 sophomore. Right tackle, Richard Fohn, 6'1", 210 senior. Left guard, Joseph Ryder, 5'10", 205 senior. And left tackle, Colton Blankenship, 5'10", 210 senior. Defense for the Wildcats. Across the defensive line, it's Joseph Ryder, 5'10", 205 senior. Cosmo Rhodes, 6'5", 215 senior. And Isaac Pickett, 5'10", 185 junior. Linebackers for Cassville, Kyle Bailey, 5'8", 155 junior. Hunter Morse, 5'9", 170 junior. Mason Bryan, 5'9", 160 freshman. And Tristan Thompson, 5'9", 170 sophomore. The corners, Bodie Rose, 5'10", 160 junior. And Colton Roark, 5'10", 160 sophomore. And the safeties, Dakota Bowen, 5'4", 125 senior. And Bryson Jacobson, 6'1", 185 senior. Again, the Wildcats starting lineup brought to you by Fast Trip. Whether for fuel, grocery items, fountain drinks, ice cream, or snacks, they have it all and at the very best prices. Fast Trip, 104 South Main in Cassville, locally owned by Mike and Anita Carr. McDonald County and Cassville both making their way out of the locker room. McDonald County in the home black uniforms, trimmed in red and white with the white helmets. Cassville in the road white jerseys with gray pants, black and gold stripe down the side, and the black helmet with the Cassville Wildcat logo on the side. Crowd continues to grow here in Anderson as the sun just now starting to set as we get later and later into the season. Of course, we started out, dark started setting in about halftime, and now you've got the sun starting to go down before the opening kickoff. And we won't have the time change until at the very end of the regular season into district play. But tomorrow, fall officially arrives on the calendar, and if the weather forecast holds true for next week, they're saying we're supposed to have some nice fall-like temperatures next week.
I like it. I'm ready, and I like it.
Yeah, I'm glad the rain moved away tonight, and we are outdoors tonight broadcasting, so it's nice to have a little warmer, pleasant evening this evening. But 3 of the final 4 regular season games are all going to be there at the friendly confines of Cassville, so a little football weather will be nice to return once we get to going back home and playing games there.
Well, we've certainly done games down here before where it was not mild temperatures. It was extremely warm. Tonight, it's pretty nice.
Yeah, one of the hottest football games I ever broadcast was from down here in McDonald County. At 9 o'clock that night, we had reached halftime, and it was still 93 degrees.
Yep,
and
I believe it.
And that was before they had the turf, thank goodness, because if they would have had the turf, I think guys would have been passing out on the field from the heat that night.
Yes.
But those were the days back when Cassville played McDonald County in the first couple of weeks of the season instead of in the mid to second half of the season. Well, we're looking forward to the contest here tonight. We've still got the coin toss to take place, and the captains will be meeting with the officiating crew and the head coaches, Coach Clay Weldy guiding the Wildcats, and Kellen Hoover, head coach of the McDonald County Mustangs. We're going to step aside and be back as we get closer to tonight's opening kickoff. You're listening to Big 8 Conference Football here on the Talon Network. Same. Back with you here in Anderson, just about ready to get this game underway. Tonight's coin toss brought to you by the Clark Center with locations in Berry, Lawrence, and Dade counties. Go to clarkmentalhealth.com to find the phone number for the services in your area. McDonald County won the toss, and they want the football. So Cassville kicking off to start tonight's game. Tonight's Wildcat kickoff brought to you, as always, by Baywash Car Wash. Clean car is a happy car, and that makes you feel good. Malachi Vincent boots it away, drives it down the middle of the field, and back at the 8-yard line. Coming up the middle of the field is the return man for the Mustangs, and that is Sam Barton, and he takes it out across the 25, out across the 30. Pretty good return by the Mustangs, and they'll have good starting field position at their own 33.
A nice tackle at the end of the return there by Tristan Thompson. Nice high end-over-end kick, gave that coverage unit time to fly down the field.
So the Mustangs come up to the line of scrimmage for the first time offensively here tonight. Destin Dowd, the quarterback. He's got a running back off of each hip and receiver split right and left. Calls for the football, and he gives the handoff to Barton. And Barton tries to slash to the short side of the field to the McDonald County sideline, takes it across the 35, races his way out to the 38. It's a gain of 5 on first down. It'll bring up second down and 5.
Big hole opened up on the right side of that offensive line. Nice job that time. Jacobson coming up from his safety position to bring the ball carrier down.
Second and 5 for the Mustangs. Cassville showing blitz with the linebackers. Man goes in motion is Barton. That leaves Sosef all alone in the backfield with Dowd, and he gets the handoff. Starts right, goes back to his left, pushes his way across the 40 out to about the 42-yard line. Comes up just a little short of the first down. It'll bring up third down and 1.
Sosef, 5'9", 205-pound back coming out of that backfield. Wildcats have a chance early to get the Mustangs off the field here on third down.
So third and 1 at the Mustang 42, or excuse me, at the 42-yard line. Here comes the blitz of the Wildcats. They give the ball to Barton. Barton breaks a tackle at the line of scrimmage, takes it out across the 45, and picks up the first down. As he moves all the way out just shy of midfield, the McDonald County Mustangs convert on third down, as it's a gain of, looks like 6 yards out to the 48.
A big push up front there by this large McDonald County offensive line. Barton just got in behind him and ran hard.
First and 10 Mustangs still on their side of midfield. Here comes the blitz from the weak side. They hand the ball to Barton. He runs away from the blitz, makes a man miss in the backfield, and he pushes out close to midfield. Right now the one side judge is saying just shy of the 50, and it looks like the nose of the football is going to be touching the 50-yard line. It's a gain of 2, brings up second down and 8.
Ball going around the left edge there, and really nice pursuit out of this Wildcat defense, flying to the football.
McDonald County not running a true hurry-up offense, but they don't waste a lot of time in the huddle. They're quickly up to the line of scrimmage and ready to go once again. Second down and long. Dowd looking to throw for the first time tonight. Rolling to his right, now tucks it under his wing. He wants to run. He's across into Cassville territory, takes on contact, and is driven out of bounds at about the Wildcat 45.
Dowd, pretty good-sized quarterback, 6'2", every bit of 200 pounds. They have him listed here, and you saw at the end of that run, he lowered the shoulder on the McDonald County sideline to pick up an extra yard or 2.
It's a gain of 4, and it'll bring up third and 4 for McDonald County. Tonight's first quarter brought to you by Michael's Hardware, located at 186 Sale Barn Road in Cassville. For your project questions, call Michael's. Friendly folks, serious hardware. They've got all your fall decorating items right now as well, mums and pumpkins and the like, so drop by Michael's Hardware in Cassville. Third and 4, they give the ball to Barton. Tripped up in the backfield, trying to dive out to the 45-yard line and not sure whether he even got that far. Good job by Kyle Bailey. Got in between a couple of blockers and broke that play up before it ever got back to the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, really nice play. Bailey finding a way through that offensive line, was able to dive and get a hold of the ankle, and those can be pretty effective sometimes, as we saw the ball carrier go down. Fourth down right here, big play for this Wildcat defense.
It's a gain of 1, fourth down and 3. Cassville may have just jumped across the line. We'll see if the Mustangs moved first, and they say no, they did not. Encroachment against the defense, and another first down for the Mustangs.
Mistakes are part of the game, Sammy, but I tell you what, when you're on the road and you're going up against a team that's talented like the Mustangs, You can't give them free first downs, and that's what the Wildcats did right there.
It hurts even more when they're already on your side of the 50-yard line. So 1st and 10 at the Cassville 40. Barton goes in motion. Rolls out to the left, now resets in the slot out there as a receiver. They give the ball to Sosif. The big running back plows off left tackle and drives his way inside the 35 down to the 34. It's a gain of about 6 yards, and it'll bring up 2nd down and 4.
And the Mustangs hustle back to the line of scrimmage, ready to call another play. They don't want the Wildcats to get set here.
Barton in motion again. Again, he stops in the slot on the left side. Again, they give the ball to Sosif. Right up the middle goes the big running back, and the fullback powers his way inside the 30, picks up a first down and a couple of extra yards down to the Wildcat 27.
Mustangs just moving the ball steadily down the field right now. Offensive line getting good push up front. And they are big. Look at those guys.
They not only have the weight, but they've also got the height. I mean, they're 6'2 to 6'5 all the way from tackle to tackle, and the smallest guy out there is listed at 250, and they've got a couple of 290, 295 pounders out there. So first down, this time Dowd fakes the handoff, keeps it himself, lowers the shoulder pads, and drives through a couple of defenders down inside the 20 all the way down to about the 17-yard line.
Yeah, Dowd, the quarterback of the Mustangs, he's not going to outrun a lot of people, but as we said, he's a physical runner. He's listed at 200 pounds. I think he's probably got that eclipsed, but very powerful run that time by the Mustang quarterback.
Picks up just enough for the first down. 1st and 10 from the Wildcat 17. Barton comes in motion, passes through. They hand the football to him. He tries to get him in motion with a little head of steam, and Cassville's defense did a really nice job there. Bailey, along with Cosmo Rose, getting into the running lane and breaking it up. And it's going to be a loss of a yard back to the 18-yard line.
Really, really good play over there on that side of the line. Rhodes, the defensive end, able to cut off the ball carrier. Bailey over there to help make the tackle. Big-time play right there.
Nearly 5 minutes gone here in the opening quarter. No score, 2nd down and 11. McDonald County with the initial drive of the night. Twin receivers to the right. Dowd looks that direction, fires it out down the line of scrimmage. Catch is made by Barton, and he'll take it ahead to the 15-yard line. Brought down by Tristan Thompson and Colton Roark. We've got a 3rd down play coming up for McDonald County here with the ball right at the 15 after a gain of 3. Mustangs 1 for 2 so far on 3rd down conversion tries. Dowd this time hangs on to it for a long time, finally turns loose of it, and Barton fights his way down to about the 10-yard line for a gain of 5, and it's going to bring up 4th down.
Yeah, 4th and about 4. Not a gimme right here for sure. So the Wildcat defense bending, not breaking at this point.
Well, the Mustangs converted on their first 4th down try, but that was thanks to a Cassville penalty. We'll see what happens here. 4th down and 3. It's almost the same yardage, but this time at the Cassville 10. The two backs line up off of the hips of the quarterback, Destin Dowd. And he gives the ball to Barton. No, fakes and a little slant coming from the receiver on the left side, and the catch is made, and it's a touchdown for McDonald County as Josh Pacheco catches the football for the opening points of the night.
Yeah, Pacheco, he's tall receiver, 6'4", 6'5". You think jump ball in that situation. This time they run the quick slant, and the ball was delivered right on time. Pacheco cutting in front of the Wildcat defensive back into the end zone for the first score of the game.
So the Mustangs break on top, 6-0, and now the extra point try. And the kick is up, and it is good. The extra point booted through by Richard Gaska. He is a junior kicker. And the Mustangs out early, 7-0 here, and they take over 6 minutes off the clock on that opening drive.
Methodical drive down the field. They ran the football all the way down the field and scored on a pass play. So they will throw the football. We talked about in the pregame, they like to throw the football. We didn't see a lot of it in the first drive. They were able to just take over with that large offensive line and work their way down the field.
14 plays, 67 yards, 6 minutes and 15 seconds off the clock, and the Mustangs lead 7-0 here early on in the first quarter. Again, tonight's first quarter brought to you by Michael's Hardware. They can quarterback your project with the right tools and supplies for the job. Michael's Hardware, friendly folks, serious hardware. Of those 14 plays, 12 of them were runs, only 2 passes. And the score coming on a pass completion from Dowd to Pacheco. Bailey and Rose drop back deep for the Wildcats. It's a line drive kick. It hits off of one of the up men for the Wildcats and then deflects back to the second line. And the ball is fallen on. Couldn't tell whether that was Sky Yang or whether that was Mason Bryan who fell on the loose football. But either way, Cassville takes over possession, and they'll have a good starting point at their own 39.
Wildcat offensive line been challenged this week, and they've got their work cut out for them. Again, not only are the Mustangs large on the offensive line, same thing over on that defensive side.
Twin receivers to the left, lone man out to the right. They give to the tailback. That's Kyle Bailey. Bounces off the first guy he hits and keeps the motor running and takes it all the way out close to midfield, and probably some yardage added on after the play as he was brought down by the horse collar tackle. And boy, Bailey just ran into a wall but bounced off of that wall like a rubber ball and then took it to the outside, picked up 10 yards and some more after the penalty.
Yeah, completely bottled up off that right tackle, and nice vision there by Bailey to leak out to the left. Good run there. And you're right, this one, I think you're going to have another 15 yards added on at the end of this run.
And that penalty by the Mustangs brought to you by Extreme Graphics. If you want to make your ride cooler, head on over to Extreme Graphics and Window Tinting, 701 Mill Street in Cassville.
And just like that, the Wildcats into McDonald County territory.
They move it all the way down to the Mustang 37-yard line. So it ends up being a gain of 25 after the 10-yard run from Bailey, and then 15 yards added on after the horse collar tackle. And the Wildcats pick up their first down of the night. The first down brought to you by Superior Metal. Find them online at superiormetalsalesinc.com. Rolling out to his right, quarterback Bodie Rose tries to hit the tight end Cosmo Rhodes out in the flat down around the 30-yard line. Pass sails on him a little bit out ahead of Rhodes, and it falls incomplete, and it'll bring up second down.
Yeah, Rose would like to have that one back. He had Rhodes in the flat out there, had a couple of steps on his man heading towards that Wildcat sideline.
So second down and 10, Cassville. They'll trail 7-0 here with 5:15 left to go in the first quarter. They go unbalanced left with this setup. That's the short side of the field, and they give the ball to Colton Roark going against the grain, and he's going to be run down from behind, and another horse collar.
You can't grab him by the back of the neck and throw him down and tackle him. You just can't do it.
And that is going to be another 15 yards and another first down for the Wildcats. The penalty against the Mustangs, again, brought to you by Extreme Graphics and Window Tinting. Street window tinting, decals, wraps, and accessories, all at Extreme Graphics in Cassville.
Roar coming from left to right on the jet sweep, got the football heading towards that Wildcat sideline, and McDonald County defender just reached up right behind the helmet and grabbed at the base of the neck on the jersey and shoulder pads and pulled him over backward. You can't do it. We've seen it twice in this drive.
Takes it down to the 23, first and 10, Cassville. Closing in on 4:50 left to go here in the opening quarter. Bodie Rose hands the ball off up the middle. And I believe that was Jacobson on the carry. It was Bryson Jacobson. He'll take the ball down to the 18-yard line for a gain of 5, and it'll bring up second down and 5 for Cassville.
Jacobson still favoring that ankle a little bit. You can see him hobbling a little bit, but it's good to see him running the football, this time straight ahead downfield. Big run through the line of scrimmage.
Let me know what's going on. So. Who carried it that time?
I believe it was Jacobson again.
All right. Oh, it kicked us out. Crap. That's the first time it's kicked us out. Where are they at? The 9.
It's close. No? Wow.
Sammy Claver and Jeremy Marple back with you here at McDonald County. Apologize for the technical difficulties. Our cell signal kicked us off for just a little bit. Cassville still knocking on the door. They did not convert into the end zone on 3rd and goal from the 1. Now they're going to go 4th and goal from the 1. Full house backfield. The Rhino package in behind Bodie Rose, and he gives the handoff and a big surge off left tackle. Touchdown, Cassville.
Well, nice job that time. Offensive line did what they needed to do, worked their way down the field, battled around that 10-yard line, worked it all the way to the goal line, a couple shots at it, and into the end zone. Nice job.
So Kyle Bailey able to punch it in, get the points on the board for the first time tonight for the Wildcats. Cassville touchdown brought to you by Willis Insurance on the square in Cassville and in the Bridgeway Plaza in Shell Knob. Willis Insurance, your trusted choice insurance agent. Ashton Wheeler now in to attempt the extra point. It's a bad snap, and Wheeler rushing all the way back to the 25, diving on the loose football as the Wildcats avoid the turnover, but the conversion fails, and McDonald County hangs on to the lead. The Mustangs on top 7-6 here with 1:54 left to go in the first quarter. So Cassville, with the help of a couple of penalties, moved from their 39 all the way down and punch it into the end zone. But the PAT failed, so the Mustangs leading by 1, 7-6.
Wildcats have been very solid in special teams and point afters, especially. That time the snap really never got off the ground. It's uncharacteristic of this football team to have a hiccup at special teams.
The extra point try brought to you by Berry Electric Cooperative and GoBeck. Internet speed is spelled GoBeck in Berry County. Wildcats set to kick it away. The Wildcat kickoff brought to you by Baywash Car Wash. With the IQ Soft Cloth Automatic, it features a custom wash technology that gives you the perfect wash every time. Baywash Car Wash. Clean car makes you happy, and that makes you feel good. Malachi Vincent teeing the ball up at his own 40-yard line. Lights are starting to take full effect now. As Vincent boots this one, he gets a good leg into this one, drives the return man all the way back to the 6. And once again, that's Sam Barton, and he'll start up the right hash, cut back towards the middle of the field, gets across the 30 and out across the 35. So another good return by Barton sets up the Mustangs with some good starting field position.
Yeah, nice return there for the Mustangs. Nice cut, good vision. Will give them pretty good starting field position.
They'll put it down at the McDonald County 37-yard line. Mustangs leading 7-6. Late here in the opening quarter. McDonald County took over 6 minutes off the clock and drove 67 yards and scored on their opening drive. Cassville answered with a touchdown on their first drive of the night. And now Sosef gets the call on first down. Powers off left tackle. He'll take it out to the 40-yard line for a pickup of 3, and it'll bring up second down and 7.
A good tackle there by Mason Bryan. Outside linebacker coming in, getting into the legs of the big ball carrier.
Receiver split right and left. They keep the two backs flanking the quarterback, Destin Dowd. He operates from the shotgun, and the running backs right on each hip. And now he tries to dump one out of the backfield to Sam Barton, but there's the big defensive end. Cosmo Rhodes at 6'5", gets up in his face and swats the pass away, incomplete.
Yeah, really nice job there by Rhodes coming upfield, reading the quarterback, reading the play, and just got those long arms up in the air to bat the ball down. Heads up play.
That'll bring up third down and long. McDonald County 1 for 3 on third down conversion attempts here in the first half. They send Barton in motion. He'll set up in the slot off to the left side. Dowd hands the ball to Sosef, trying to power it up the middle, and a good job by Cassville collapsing on the running back. After Sosef takes it out to about the 42, maybe the 43. It's a pickup of 3, and the Mustangs are going to be forced to punt for the first time tonight. And the forced punt is brought to you by CS Bank. CS Bank, from cars to cows, they can handle your personal or commercial needs. CS Bank in Cassville.
A good play on the interior that time by Joseph Ryder.
And the kick is in the air off the foot of Anthony D'Amico. It bounces back at the 20-yard line of the Wildcats, and Dakota Bowen gets away from it, and it rolls inside the 15 all the way down to the 10. What a good punt by the kicker, Anthony D'Amico. And Cassville's going to be starting off deep in their own territory.
Well, D'Amico just flipped the field there for the Mustangs. Wildcats have a long way to go in this drive. A couple of penalties helped out in the first drive. The offensive line did a nice job. Wildcats were running right at this big Mustang defense and doing a pretty good job.
Ends up being a 47-yard kick, no return. First and 10 Wildcats just inside their own 11-yard line. 31 seconds left to go in the opening quarter. Cassville trailing 7-6. Split backfield behind Bodie Rose. Pitches the ball back to Jacobson. Running to the short side. Is swarmed under just shy of the 15-yard line. He's able to pick up about 3 yards, and it'll bring up second down and 7.
A little toss sweep around the left side. Jacobson doesn't try to run to the sideline and hit the corner. He's going to look for ways to get downfield in a hurry, just as we saw right there. Look for a block, and downhill he went.
And that will most likely be the last play of quarter number 1. Cassville going to let the clock tick away, and that will do it. After 12 minutes here in McDonald County, the Mustangs lead the Wildcats 7-6. We'll take a break and be back with quarter number 2. You're listening to Big 8 Conference Football here on the Talon Network. Back with you here in Anderson. We move to quarter number 2. Tonight's second quarter brought to you by Roark Diesel. They're located just north of Cassville on Highway 37, and they specialize in diesel performance products. Call Roark Diesel at 847-6560. First play of the second quarter with Cassville trailing 7-6 is an incomplete pass, and it'll bring up 3rd down and 8. And the Wildcats send a man in motion, throw the little screen back against the grain. It's caught by Jacobson, but he is brought down before he can get back to the line of scrimmage. A loss on the play, and it's going to bring up 4th down.
Wildcats trying to take the flow of the play to the wide side of the field towards the McDonald County sideline, then go back against the grain with the screen. Pretty good idea, just wasn't blocked very well out in front of Jacobson. Really nowhere to go.
It's a loss of 5, and it'll bring up 4th down and 12, and Bodie Rose will be punting out of his own end zone. So McDonald County looks to get the football back with some good position. They come with the big pressure. Rose gets the kick away, and what a bounce. It rolls across midfield into Mustang territory all the way down to the 36-yard line. Boy, Bodie Rose under a lot of pressure, and there is a flag back at the end zone. Did we have a late hit? And yes, we got a roughing the kicker.
Yeah. Great job to get the ball away. As you said, all kinds of pressure in his face and a huge roll.
Yeah, he just had about a 49-yard kick there. But a penalty called against the Mustangs, and this will be the 3rd big penalty against them. A couple of horse collars, and now a roughing the kicker. It's going to give Cassville a 1st down.
Get Cassville out of a hole back there. Give them some room to operate.
Wildcat 1st down brought to you by Superior Metal. They're first in all your farm building needs. Check them out online for examples of what they can custom build for you. Superior Metal at superiormetalsalesinc.com. Moves the ball out to the 24-yard line. 1st and 10, Cassville. Bodie Rose up under center. Hands the football off straight up the gut. Good quick hitter by Kyle Bailey. Takes it out to the 30-yard line. Is able to pick up about 6 yards. And it'll bring up 2nd down and 4. And by the way, that penalty against McDonald County, once again, brought to you by Extreme Graphics and Window Tinting at 701 Mill Street in Cassville.
Well, good surge that time by that Wildcat offensive line. Bailey getting in behind them, running hard. But Wildcat offensive line moving that big defensive front of the Mustangs off the football.
So 2nd and 4, Cassville at their own 30. 10.5 left to go here in the first half. McDonald County leading 7-6. Rose gives the ball to Jacobson. He's wrapped up right at the line of scrimmage and thrown back. No gain on the play, and it'll bring up 3rd down.
Wildcats trying the option game right there. And good play defensively by Sosif as he sniffed out the Wildcat fullback, and Jacobson had nowhere to go.
We were talking about his size on when he was running the ball, about 5'10", 205 pounds, but he's also one of their linebackers, and that's a good-sized young man in there at one of the middle linebacking positions as well.
Moves well.
So 3rd and 3. Rose fakes the handoff, looking to throw. Down the middle, he's got a man open. Bailey makes the catch into Mustang territory at the 40-yard line and races on down close to the 30 before he is finally brought down. A big 1st down pass play for Cassville.
Hey, great play call right there. The Wildcats had Cosmo Rhodes, a big tight end, going down one hash, had Bailey coming out of the backfield going down the other hash, and all Rose had to do was pick the one that was open, delivered a really nice pass there to Bailey, right in stride. Huge pass play for the Wildcats.
Wildcat 1st down brought to you by Superior Metal, their first in color selection. Look at their gallery online at superiormetalsalesinc.com. It's a gain of 37 on the pass completion to Kyle Bailey. And now the Wildcats looking to run the football, and another good surge by the offensive front. And Bailey moving in behind him is able to push his way down inside the 25 to the 24, a gain of 9.
It was actually Rose that time, Sam. He kept the football. We see him do that a lot in the option game, just tuck right in behind that fullback. He kept it. And you're right, that right side of the offensive line had a good push that time, and Rose running hard, big gain there.
Yeah, Bodie Rose now 2 carries, 13 yards as he was running in behind the blocking of Kyle Bailey. 2nd down and 1. Twin receivers to the right side. Rose this time hands it off to Bailey. And Ball carrier hit at the 22-yard line after a gain of only 2. And it's just good enough for a first down. So he got just enough yardage to move the chains. The Wildcat first down brought to you by Superior Metal, First and Custom Ag Buildings. Check them out on Facebook or YouTube and then call for a free quote at 888-364-9527.
And the Wildcats keep the chains moving and the clock running. Having a nice drive here.
Under 8.5 left to go before halftime. Cassville trailing by a point. Running the ball again. This time Rose keeps it after faking a handoff. Breaks the tackle at the 10. Breaks another one at the 5 and nearly gets into the end zone. It'll be first and goal Wildcats at the 2.
Really nice run there by Rose, working his way through that defense. And 2 different defenders had him around the waist, and he's able to break those tackles and get very close to the end zone. Good run that time by Rose.
First down again by Superior Metal. Find them online at superiormetalsalesinc.com or call 888-364-9527. First and goal Wildcats looking for their first lead of the night at the 2-yard line. They'll go with the full house backfield. Got the 3 backs stacked up behind Bodie Rose, and he trips as he hands the ball off, and I don't know whether he got tangled up with one of his linemen or whether he got tangled up with one of his running backs. The handoff never got completed. The ball comes free, and unbelievably, the Mustangs have picked up the football at the 5-yard line and turned the Wildcats away.
Wow. Wow, tough play right there. And the Mustangs come up with a huge turnover.
Cassville held the ball for nearly 5 minutes and was looking to punch it in to take the lead, and a turnover inside the 10-yard line gives the ball back to McDonald County. So the Mustangs take over at their own 5 with 7:30 left to play before halftime.
Wildcats very active in the linebacking core. Both of those middle linebackers filling gaps, either faking blitz.
It's a gain of 4 on first down, and now running the ball again off to the right side. We'll see if it was Barton or Sosef on the carry. And it looks like it was Sam Barton that time. He'll move it out to the 11-yard line. And that will pick up at McDonald County. Actually, that's the 16-yard line. Correction, over on the far hash. And that's good enough for a McDonald County first down.
Just power football there, just a mass of bodies moving off that right side. Barton just got it right in behind him.
Quickly back up to the line of scrimmage. Now Destin Dowd steps back, takes a look to the sidelines, gets a new play in, relays that to his teammates. Still plenty of time on the play clock. 10 seconds and counting. And he'll give it to Barton once again. Barton starts to break it to the outside, now makes a quick cutback, and he's got a first down and more out across the 30, all the way out across the 35. Good vision that time by Barton, as it looked like the play was designed to go to the sidelines, but he saw a little hole open up, and he made a quick plant of the foot and a turn up the field and takes it all the way out to the 36.
Yeah, broke a tackle just beyond the line of scrimmage and built up a head of steam and got into the secondary before he was brought down.
So another first down for McDonald County, and they have quickly dug themselves out of a hole back at their own 5, which is where this possession started. Barton goes in motion, resets in the slot. They give the ball to Sosef. Big fullback powers his way straight ahead. Picks up a couple of yards. Looks like they put him down at the 38 after a gain of 2.
Now the Mustangs not in any hurry right now, and as you said, they don't generally huddle up. They haven't. I don't know that they've huddled up once tonight. They all stand and turn and face the sideline, get the signal in from the offensive coordinator on the sideline.
So second down and 8. 5:40 left to go before halftime. 7-6, McDonald County with the lead. And a low snap. Dowd picks it up. He's going to run it himself, and he's hit behind the line of scrimmage, trying to get away from the first contact. Slides off of that man, but then more white shirts come in to stack him up at the 40. They may give him progress out to the 41, which would be a gain of 3, but it's going to bring up third down and a long 5.
Well, very tough to bring down. Big quarterback for the Mustangs. Dowd was able to shake that tackle in the backfield. Would have been a big loss. And then it took about 4 Wildcats, maybe 5, to bring him down.
Yeah, he is one guy that's definitely hit the weight room, because I remember he started as a sophomore, and he was a tall, lanky, rangy wide receiver. That was back when Cole Martin was the quarterback, and now he's the quarterback, and he has definitely put some muscle on his frame, and he's a tough guy to bring down when he gets going. So 3rd down and 4.5 to go. Looking to throw, launches, and he's got a man wide open at the Cassville 35. The catch is made, and the receiver takes it all the way down to the 20-yard line. The reception pulled in by Slight Osborne for a McDonald County first down.
Somehow Osborne got loose in the secondary, just coming across the field. Possible busted coverage there in the secondary as he popped wide open back there. Wildcats closed on it quickly, but not before a big reception and a ton of yards there.
39 yards on the pickup on the pass completion to Osborne. 1st and 10, McDonald County at the Cassville 20-yard line. They give the ball to Barton. Barton tries to get a block on the edge. A flag comes out behind the play, which is usually in a spot where you're looking for a hold against the offense. We'll see what it's about as Barton is strung out towards the sideline and brought down for no gain on the play.
Yeah, good job by that Wildcat defense. Not allowing him to get downfield. As you stated, stretching that play over towards the Wildcat sideline, brought down just at the line of scrimmage.
And the penalty is a holding call against McDonald County. The penalty against the Mustangs brought to you by Extreme Graphics and Window Tinting. If you want to make your ride cooler, head over to Extreme Graphics at 701 Mill Street in Cassville. That will move the ball back to the 30-yard line. It'll be 1st and 20 from there with 4:22 left to go here in the first half. McDonald County leading 7-6. Dowd sends Barton out into the slot. Twin receivers that direction, gives the ball to Sosef. He runs that way and has his legs taken out from underneath him right at the 30-yard line. And with a big guy like that, you got to get to him quickly and take the pins out from underneath him, and that's exactly what Cassville's been doing.
They really did. Kyle Bailey able to get into his legs before the big back is able to get ahead of steam. Got in there and brought him down. Big play.
So 2nd down and 20 for McDonald County after the 10-yard holding penalty has backed him up. Twin receivers split out wide to the left. Dowd will send Barton out that way as well. So a trio of receivers over here on the wide side of the field. Dowd rolling to his left. Now cuts, goes back, looks for running room, reverses his field, makes a cut at the line of scrimmage, breaks a tackle at the 25, and lowers his shoulders and gets back to the original line of scrimmage at the 20 for a pickup of nearly 10 yards.
10 yards on 2nd down, going to bring up 3rd and 10 for this Wildcat defense.
So another 3rd down conversion attempt here by the Mustangs. They're 2 of 5 so far on 3rd down conversion tries in the first half, and we're under 3 minutes to go before halftime. Mustangs clinging to a 7-6 lead. 3rd and 10 from the 20. Dowd keeps it himself, hangs on to it, and he's inside the 10, breaks a tackle at the 5, trying to get to the goal line, fumbles the football. It rolls into the end zone, and it's going to be a touchback.
Wow.
So both teams have fumbled the ball at the goal line and have been turned away.
Wow, heading into the end zone, all kinds of Wildcat defenders around Dowd, able to strip the ball away. The ball rolled about 8 yards into that end zone. Wildcats able to get on the football. 2.5 minutes to go until halftime. Cassville turns the Mustangs away with their own turnover, and the Wildcats will have the football at the 20.
Mistakes have plagued both teams here in the first half, and it's only 7-6. McDonald County on top. Both teams have had opportunities to put more points on the board and have had turnovers hamper their drives. And now Cassville, with 2.5 minutes to go before the break, has the ball at their own 20, down by 1. Bodie Rose going to run the football himself. Takes it out to the 23, maybe the 24-yard line. We'll see where they spot him down. Looks like they are going to put him at the 24 for a gain of 4, 2nd down and 6.
Wildcats taking their time here, clock ticking down. 2 minutes and 10 seconds until halftime.
Tonight's second quarter brought to you by Roark Diesel. You can find them online at roarkdiesel.com or give them a call, 847-6560. They specialize in diesel performance products. Second down for the Wildcats. Handoff goes to Jacobson. He's hit behind the line of scrimmage and pulled backwards. It's going to be a loss of a yard on the play and bring up third down.
One of those big defensive tackles. J.P. Clarkson, sophomore, 6'3", 230-pound sophomore, getting in the backfield there.
So third down facing Cassville. And we are going to have a timeout with 1:28 left to go. McDonald County calling this timeout as they hope to get the football back with a little time to try to add to their lead. We'll see what happens here on third down and long. Timeout on the field brought to you by Security Bank. Do you want mobile banking, ATMs, multiple branches, and all types of loans, and still be able to go into the lobby and see your personal banker? You just described Security Bank of Southwest Missouri. Take time out to look at Security Bank, member FDIC. So third down and we'll call it 7. Line of scrimmage, the Cassville 24-yard line. A little less than 90 seconds left to go here in the first half. McDonald County leading 7-6. McDonald County looking for a stop and then hoping to get some sort of good punt return. Cassville looking to pick up a first down and be able to continue this drive. And at the very least, keep the ball out of the hands of the Mustangs. McDonald County took the opening drive, drove down the field, and scored. Cassville answered with a 9-play, 61-yard drive of their own, but the extra point attempt was no good. 7-6 Mustangs. Rose under pressure, wanting to throw to Jacobson coming out of the backfield. And McDonald County put the heat on the Cassville quarterback, and he is dropped all the way back at the 15-yard line, and McDonald County quickly calls for another timeout.
Rose trying to use that speed to escape the pressure. Not quite able to get out of the grasp of the McDonald County defender. 1:19 seconds to go until halftime. The clock stopped with a timeout. Wildcats are going to be punting. The last punt the Wildcats had, the Mustangs got into Rose, the punter, for 15 yards. Good punt by Rose, nonetheless. So they're going to ask him to try to repeat the punt he had on the previous punt.
Timeout on the field brought to you by Security Bank. Everyone has debit cards and ATMs, but Security Bank in Exeter, Wheaton, and Cassville, you sit across from a neighbor and a decision maker. Security Bank, member FDIC. So fourth down and 15. The ball back at the Cassville 15-yard line.
They may come right after this one again, Sammy.
Yeah, Bodie Rose back at his own 3. Sam Barton drops back at the Cassville 45 to await the punt. And they come from the right side, nearly gets to Rose, but he gets the kick away, angles it towards the McDonald County sideline. It bounces across the 50, takes a Wildcat roll into Mustang territory, still going down inside the 40, back at the 39-yard line. Another good punt by Bodie Rose.
Yeah, nice job there by Rose. Kicking that football at the end into McDonald County territory. So they're going to have about 61 yards to go to the end zone with 1:06 left here.
45-yard kick and no return. McDonald County has it at their own 39, leading 7-6.
We've seen the passing ability out of the Mustangs on one pass for a touchdown, one pass for 39 yards.
They send Barton out to the short side, joining the other receiver, Pacheco, out there. And Dowd's looking that direction. He's going deep to Pacheco. The ball is a little underthrown, and Bodie Rose got into the receiver, and a flag is thrown. Pacheco was trying to come back to the football, got tangled up with Rose, the cornerback, and it's going to be pass interference against Cassville. That will give the Mustangs a first down, but unlike NFL football. It's not a spot foul. It's a 15-yarder. That'll be marked off to the Wildcat 44-yard line.
Well, and at this point, under a minute to go in the football game, or excuse me, in the first half, you'll take the 15 yards over a 61-yard touchdown pass.
So 1st and 10 McDonald County at the Cassville 44. Pacheco again wide to the left. Barton goes in motion. Long snap count this time by the Mustangs. Dowd looking to throw again. Steps up into the pocket. Pump fakes. Now he tucks it under and he looks like he wants to run. And he will turn the corner and make it out to the 45. But it's a gain of only a yard. And the Mustangs are going to have to use another timeout.
Well, good coverage that time by the Wildcats. Dowd, nowhere to go with the football, tried to leak out of there and was brought down just past the line of scrimmage. So really nice job defensively there for the Wildcats.
So 49 seconds left here in the first half.
Mustangs are out of timeouts.
2nd down and 9 at the 45 of Cassville. McDonald County with a 7-6 lead. Coach Kellen Hoover has his troops gathered around. And on the opposite side, defensive coordinator, Coach Jim Ginsler, has his Wildcat defense gathered around him. And you might recognize those two names. They were assistant coaches many years ago together at Monette, so they are very familiar with Big A Conference football. Coach Ginsler followed Coach DePay to Ozark and was over there for quite a while. But Coach Hoover, he's been down here at McDonald County now for several seasons.
Coach Ginsler spent one season with the Wildcats back in, I believe it was 2008, the first state championship year.
So 2nd down and 9, McDonald County at the Cassville 45. Dowd with Sosif in the backfield. Rolls to his left, lets one fly. He's got Pacheco at the Cassville 38, catch is made. Pacheco spins inside the 35 down to the 33. It's a gain of about 12, and they'll have to hurry up to the line of scrimmage.
Clock stops while the chains move, but the Wildcats did keep the Pacheco in bounds there.
So 1st and 10 for the Mustangs. We're under 35 seconds and counting. Trip receivers now out to the right side. Pacheco all alone over here on the left. Dowd takes the snap, rolls to his right, looks downfield, throws to the underneath man, and it's off the fingertips of Osborne, incomplete, and that'll stop the clock with 26 seconds left in the half.
Dowd rolling to his right, ball sailed on him over near that Wildcat sideline. Wildcat defense, 2 safeties very deep.
So 2nd down and 10 for the Mustangs. Play clock down to 15. They break huddle and come to the line of scrimmage. I say break huddle, like you said earlier, they don't really get in a traditional huddle. They just kind of gather closely and look over to the sideline. The play is signaled in, and they all head up to the line of scrimmage. Dowd with some time to throw. Now pressure coming from the backside by Cosmo Rhodes. Throws down the Cassville sideline, incomplete. Diving attempt over there by the Mustang receiver comes up empty, and the clock stopped with 18.5 seconds left in the half.
Well, once again, very good coverage in the secondary by the Wildcats. Dowd had some time back there. The offensive line gave him a little time, eventually flushed out of the pocket. Tried to throw on the run once again, incomplete.
So 3rd down and 10. McDonald County 2 of 6 on 3rd down conversion tries here in the first half. Leading 7-6. 4 receivers, 3 to the right, 1 to the left. Dowd dropping straight back, steps up into the pocket. Now no one open, he's going to run. He's got the 25, he's got the 20, and steps out of bounds at the 23-yard line.
10 seconds remaining. As he steps out of bounds, they do get the first down. So they may have a couple of shots, couple of chances to get the ball in the end zone here.
It's a gain of 11, 1st and 10, McDonald County. The ball at the 18-yard line. Dowd calls for the snap. Looks to the right. He's got a couple of receivers over there. Throws underneath. The catch is made by Barton at the 10, and he takes it down to the 5. And they're out of timeouts, and they stop it just quickly to set the football. Will they be able to clock it?
Nope. Half's over.
And they were not. They were hoping to be able to clock it with 1.3 seconds on the scoreboard and get one final play.
Looks like the officials have called it halftime.
Yep, the officials holding up the football and says we have reached halftime. So McDonald County unable to add to their lead as we head to the locker room. The Mustangs lead the Wildcats 7-6 at the half. We'll step aside and be back with the Shoemaker Tire halftime show. You're listening to Big 8 Conference football here on the Talent Network. Sammy Clapper and Jeremy Marple back with you here at McDonald County. The Mustangs lead the Cassville Wildcats 7-6 at halftime. It's time now for the Shoemaker Tire halftime show. Shoemaker Tire, family owned and operated in Golden, Missouri. They've been serving customers in southwest Missouri and northwest Arkansas since 1961. McDonald County got the ball first, drove the ball right down the field, and scored on a 10-yard pass play from Destin Dowd to Josh Pacheco. The extra point was good. That capped off a 14-play, 67-yard drive, and McDonald County jumped out to a 7-0 lead. But Cassville answered on a 9-play, 61-yard drive, capped off by a 1-yard run from Kyle Bailey. The extra point was no good on a bad snap, and that ended up being all the scoring in the first half. 7-6, McDonald County with the lead. It's not that neither team had more opportunities, but both teams have had mistakes, shot themselves in the foot, and also unable to punch the ball into the end zone. So we've just got two scores here at halftime. The Mustangs leading by 1.
Yeah, penalties have really plagued the Mustangs in the first half, and as you stated, the Wildcats had the football inside the 2-yard line, turned it over on a fumble. Mustangs went right down the field and returned the favor going in to score. The Mustang quarterback fumbled the football about 8 yards deep in the end zone. Wildcats hopped on it. They weren't able to get points out of that, but they were able to keep the Mustangs out of the end zone late in the first half, which brings us, we've got a 1-point ball game here at halftime, Sammy.
And not to say that both defenses haven't played well. They both have at times, but both offenses have been able to move the ball at times, and then the mistakes have cost them.
They really have, and both defenses have done a pretty good job. Both of them have bent. They haven't broken very much, just one score each on the scoreboard, but the Wildcats have showed me a little something tonight along that offensive line. They've gone toe-to-toe with this massive defensive line of the Mustangs and worked their way down the field several times.
7-6, McDonald County leading Cassville here at the break. Other scores around the Big 8 Conference here in week number 5. Seneca at home leads Monette 34-0 late in the first half. Also late in the first half, Aurora has a 42-7 lead over Hollister. That game down at Hollister. Up in Vernon County, Nevada leads Mount Vernon in a battle of unbeatens, 21-14. Rogersville, 14-0 lead over Springfield Catholic. Lamar leads East Newton, 14-0. And Reed Spring has a 14-0 lead over Marshfield. Other games around the Big 8 here tonight. We will continue on with the Shoemaker Tire halftime show. We'll look at the numbers from the first 2 quarters as we continue on here at the break. Halftime brought to you by Shoemaker Tire. Mark and the gang will have you up and running when you need a new set of tires in no time flat, or just when you have no time for a flat. Shoemaker Tire, Highway 86 in Golden. Call 417-271-3490. 7-6, McDonald County over Cassville. You're listening to Big 8 football here on the Talon Network. Role models are more important than ever in today's society. You can serve as a role model for others the next time you display good sportsmanship at a high school athletic event. Good sports are winners and are also vital to preserving our fine sports traditions. So the next time you attend a sporting event, remember to be a good sport and help rekindle the spirit of citizenship. Sportsmanship reminder brought to you by Access Family Care, locations in Cassville, Neosho, Aurora, Mount Vernon, and Joplin. 7-6, McDonald County leading Cassville here at halftime as we continue on with the Shoemaker Tire halftime show. Shoemaker Tire, people you can trust for tires. You can find them online at shoemakertire.com or give them a call, 417-271-3490. Your Wildcat broadcast team is brought to you by Les Jacobs Ford. They promise you a relaxed and professional atmosphere to trade your vehicle. They won't play games, they always keep their word, and there are never any hidden fees at Les Jacobs Ford. They treat you like family. Les Jacobs Ford, Cassville.com online, or drop by Les Jacobs Ford, the junctions of 76, 86, and 37 in Cassville. Stats from the first half, McDonald County, 23 carries for 134 yards on the ground. They were 5 of 9 through the air for 77 yards for a total of 211 yards of offense. Mustangs picked up 10 first downs. They turned it over once on a fumble. They were penalized 4 times for 55 yards and punted once for 47 yards. Cassville, 17 carries for 69 yards. They were 2 of 4 through the air for 35 yards for a total of 104 yards of offense. Wildcats picked up 6 first downs. They turned it over once on a fumble. They were penalized twice for 20 yards, and they punted once for 45 yards in the first half. McDonald County, their quarterback Destin Dowd, ran for 60 yards on 7 carries. Sam Barton had 45 yards on 8 carries, and Melosi Sosif had 29 yards on 8 carries. Josh Pateco had 2 catches for 22 yards, including a touchdown. Slight Osborne had 1 catch for 39 yards, and Barton had 2 catches for 16 yards. For the Cassville Wildcats, they were led on the ground by Bodie Rose. The quarterback ran for 28 yards on 5 carries. Bryson Jacobson had 22 yards on 7 carries, and Kyle Bailey 19 yards on 4 carries and a touchdown. Bailey also had a 37-yard catch in the first half, so he's already over 50 yards of total offense here at halftime. The Wildcats trail the Mustangs 7-6 as we continue on with the Shoemaker Tire halftime show. The marching band for the Mustangs entertaining the crowd on what has turned out to be a beautiful night. We've got a half of a moon shining, and the clouds gave way to some sunshine before tonight's kickoff, and then the clearing skies and cooler temperatures settling in for a nice evening of high school football after a very wet start to the day that had a lot of folks nervous about whether the rain would hang around into Friday night football, but it did not, as week number 5 has turned out to be very nice throughout most of the area. Now, once you get over into South Central Missouri and Central Missouri, they may still be dealing with a little bit of the rain, but fortunate for us here on the southwestern side and the western side of the state, things have cleared up in time for football here tonight. 7-6, McDonald County leading Cassville here at the break. We'll step aside. You're listening to Big 8 Conference football here on the Talon Network. Sammy Clapper and Jeremy Marple back with you here in Anderson. The McDonald County Mustangs lead the Cassville Wildcats 7-6 here at halftime. We continue on with the Shoemaker Tire halftime show. Shoemaker Tire, over 50 years of taking care of their customers like no one else. Call Shoemaker Tire at 417-271-3490. The Mustangs lead by 1 here as we get set to start the second half. Both teams going through their warm-ups before we start the third quarter. Gives us a little time to talk about district standings as we head into the second half of the season. We are at the midway point of the regular season, which means just 4 weeks left before the start of district playoffs. And the district has a little different look to it this year, with Mount Vernon, Seneca, and East Newton all getting moved back up to Class 3 after last year going down to Class 2. So it's a 7-team district. You've got Mount Vernon, Cassville, Reed Springs, Seneca, Aurora, East Newton, and Hollister in the district. So the number 1 seed is going to get a bye, and the other teams will have to get things started and roll into the semifinals. Mount Vernon right now has the overall top spot in the districts after 4 weeks. Seneca's in the number 2 spot, Reed Spring 3, Cassville 4, then Aurora, East Newton, and Hollister 5, 6, and 7. Again, if you're one of the top seeds, you will get home field advantage as well, and that number 1 seed gets the first round bye. Mount Vernon's played a lot of larger schools to start the season, and they're going to get some more larger schools later in the season because they still got Rogersville and Marshfield to play, and those are Class 4 and 5 schools. So Mountaineers get a lot of bonus points by playing who they've had to play, and right now they're leading the district, but still plenty of opportunities for some shuffling around there in the top 3 or 4 schools. In Cassville, they've already got a nice win in district play over East Newton, Aurora, and Hollister, and they still got Reed Spring. No, they don't play Reed Spring. No. That was in the playoffs. So the teams that are ahead of them, they will not be able to play except for Seneca, and they've already lost to them, so no opportunity to get a head-to-head victory there. So it'll be interesting to see how this district plays out with Mount Vernon, Seneca, and East Newton all back in. It's kind of back to it the way it was 5-6 years ago.
Yeah, and you start looking at the points, and right now, Nevada's beating Mount Vernon 21-28. That's got to be heading close to halftime. Seneca taking care of Monette big time heading into halftime. So, Mountaineers, there's a lot of game left there. I mean, they can still come out on top of Nevada. So, who knows what's going to happen, the top seeds in this, and everyone else is just kind of outside of Mount Vernon and Seneca, in my opinion, everyone else is just kind of in a hat there. So it's always fun to look at and see how things shake out. The main thing is just take care of business on Friday night when you have the opportunity.
We talk about the new look with the district this year. Well, news broke today by a couple of reporting outlets that the Big 8 Conference may have a new look in the next couple of years. It has already been reported that 2 or 3 of the Big 8 Conference schools on the east side have reportedly joined the Mid-Lakes Conference, and there's some talk about some reshuffling on the west side as well. So this Big 8 Conference that just expanded to 14 teams 5 years ago now may be taking another restructuring and teams moving around, and it may have a whole completely new look as early as next year.
Yeah, I don't know about the teams in the West. I know that the teams we heard, the 3 teams that we heard moving to
the Mid-Lakes
Conference, and we've also heard of 2 other teams potentially in the East that may be looking to do something different next year as well. So the Big 8, Big 14 potentially could look a lot different and maybe more similar to what people were used to before 2018 when the conference expanded to 14 teams.
Yeah, and a couple of years ago there started to be some rumors about some shuffling of teams around, maybe going back to kind of the old Big 8 and some reformations there. And then there was some talk for a while, and it kind of went away. But now with this announcement today that looks like 3 teams on the east going to the Mid-Lakes, 2 other teams on the east maybe trying to form their own conference with some other larger schools around in southwest Missouri and central Missouri. That could mean the old Big 8 back to the days with Aurora, Cassville, Monette, Mount Vernon, Seneca, East Newton, Lamar, McDonald County. That may be going to be coming back to fruition again.
Yeah, with Nevada there as an outlier, they're just, I think Nevada's just really happy to be in the Big 8, and they don't plan on going anywhere because they know what life is like outside of the Big 8 in the directions that they've had to travel in the past.
So there will be a lot more news to come on that in the next few weeks, I'm sure, as we go into the second half of the season. And it seems like district play is still quite a ways out there, but just like this first half has flown by, district playoff time will be here before we know it as well.
It's right around the corner, and again, you know, the message is just take care of business on Friday night and let the cards fall where they may.
Well, Cassville's going to get the football to start the second half. They trailed 7-6 to the McDonald County Mustangs. Tonight's third quarter brought to you by J&M Pallet Company, where they specialize in new, used, and custom-built pallets. They're backing the Wildcats all the way. Jeff, an avid Wildcat supporter, with the motto, "In God We Trust," at J&M Pallet Company. Phone 847-6732. That's 847-6732. Kyle Bailey drops back at his own 10-yard line as he awaits the kick of Richard Gaska. Gaska kicked a line drive after McDonald County scored their touchdown. We'll see what he does here. This one he gets up in the air, and it's going to be hauled in by Bailey back at the 9. Then he drops the football, loses it again, and then finally pounces on it out around the 14-yard line. Whew, that would have been costly right there, but Bailey is able to keep the ball in the possession of the Wildcats.
Just could not get a handle on it and then lost his footing a little bit, but the Wildcats will maintain possession.
So they put him down at the 14 after he fielded it at the 9, brought it back to the 14, 1st and 10 Cassville.
It's always interesting to see what the teams do with their first halftime adjustments coming into the third quarter.
Wildcats go unbalanced to the short side of the field, and Bodie Rose on the carry, trying to run in behind the running back Bailey. McDonald County with their big defensive linemen do a good job stacking up the play. It's going to be a gain of only a couple out to the 16. It'll bring up 2nd down and 8.
Wildcats looking for success on first down to open up that playbook. And they just really want to take care of the football, eat up clock, and keep those chains moving.
Split backfield behind Bodie Rose, looking to throw, rolls to his left. He's got Rhodes open, and the catch is not made out at the 21-yard line. The ball goes in and out of his hands, and it'll bring up 3rd down.
Just a situation where Rhodes trying to run before he secured the football. Little play action rollout. Rose flipped the football out there, looked to be catchable, but you've got to see it all the way in.
Cassville 1 for 4 on 3rd down conversions back in the first half. This is their first 3rd down conversion try here in the second half. 3rd down and 8, the ball at their own 16-yard line. Rose this time operates from the shotgun, brings Colton Roark in motion, hands the ball off to him, trying to turn the edge, cuts it back against the grain, takes it across the 20, out to the 22. He is able to pick up about 6, but he's going to come up just short of the 1st down marker. They actually give him a pretty decent spot at the 23. It's going to be 4th down and 1.
Wildcats deep in their own territory. They thought about it for a minute, but they're going to bring the punt team on. Smart play.
So Bodie Rose in to kick it away. Sam Barton drops back to midfield, awaiting the punt. Rose had to punt twice in the first half. Got both kicks off, and they went really well, but one of them turned into a penalty on a roughing the kicker. This time a rugby-style kick, bounces at the 45 and takes a big hop inside the 30. Still rolling inside the 25 and goes all the way down to the 20-yard line before it stops. Another great kick by Bodie Rose.
Yeah, Rose likes punting on this turf. Line drive, end-over-end kicks tend to roll, and he's taking advantage of those rolls tonight. Really nice job punting the football.
So McDonald County will start just outside their own 20 with 10 minutes left to play here in the third quarter. McDonald County leading 7-6. A 57-yard kick that time by Rose, no return. And the Mustangs have it for the first time offensively here in the second half with a 1-point lead. Destin Dowd calls for the football. Hangs on to it for a long time, pulls it out the belly of Sam Barton as he takes a lick, and then Dowd, someone had a handful of jersey and was dragging him down from behind. It's going to be a short pickup on first down, a gain of only 1, and it'll bring up second down and 9.
A good job defensively there for the Wildcats. I couldn't get the number of the defender that had a hold of the shirt tail of Dowd and stretched that thing out about 3 feet, but certainly kept him from getting ahead of steam.
Yeah, it's definitely not like the old tearaway jerseys from the 70s and 80s in the NFL. So second down and long. Pressure coming from the edge. They run away from that pressure. Barton with a nice head of steam up the middle of the field takes it out to the 35 and picks up a first down.
Barton going off the right side, little cutback run there, saw a seam, and a big gain there, picking up that first down.
It's a gain of 13. Barton now with 58 yards on 9 carries.
Barton, more slender of the two backs, still 175 pounds, just right at 6 feet tall. Kind of power back and a slasher back there.
Yeah, and they also line him up out in the slot as a receiver. He's kind of like one of those multi-purpose guys you see a lot of nowadays. Flag comes out in the backfield, and a penalty flag against McDonald County. Penalties plagued the Mustangs back in the first half, and now they've got a 5-yard penalty that moves them back to the 30-yard line. Their first flag against them here in the second half. That flag against McDonald County brought to you by Extreme Graphics and Window Tinting at 701 Mill Street in Cassville. They offer tinting, decals, wraps, and accessories. Dowd passing down the line. The catch is made by Barton behind the line of scrimmage, turns it up the McDonald County sideline, and takes it out across the 40 to the 41.
Just a little swing pass to Barton coming around the left side. Had a couple of receivers out in front to block. Now Barton getting up slowly. And he's hobbled right now, and we'll see if that's a cramping issue or what. But that's not good for the Mustangs if he's out for any length of time.
Yeah, because he's got over 80 yards of all-purpose yardage here tonight. He's also their return man of their kicks, and he is being helped to the trainer's table. It was a gain of 11, and it'll bring up second down and 4. Dowd gives the ball to Sosef. Off right tackle, the big fullback plows out to the 45-yard line. He's able to pick out 4 yards and pick up a first down.
Just right off that right tackle, Sosef wrapping both hands around the football and just plowing his way ahead. And looks like with Barton, they are looking at the ankle area on the right leg here, and now they're.
Yeah, he got tangled up over
it's
here.
Hard to say what they're up by the knee right now. Not a good look.
Yeah, we couldn't tell whether he got his leg twisted underneath him over here on the sideline because of the bench players for the Mustangs. Didn't get a really clear look at that one. They hand the ball off to Sosef on first down, and he is hit hard right at the line of scrimmage and stood up. He is able to fall forward for a pickup of only 1 to the 46.
Yeah, big shot in there, right in the interior, right between the tackles. Just power football straight ahead.
I couldn't tell whether that was Bailey or Bryan over there that put the stick on. Second down and 9. They give the ball to Sosef again. This time he's hit in the backfield and dropped for a loss, and that was Kyle Bailey as he's able to get behind the line of scrimmage, and it'll bring up third and long.
Yeah, Bailey had a blocker on his shoulder, able to shed the block, get into Sosef and bring him down. Big time play right there, putting the Mustangs behind the chains once again. Big third down right here for this Wildcat defense.
It's a loss of nearly 4 back to the 42-yard line. Third down and about 13.5 yards to go. 7 minutes left to play in the third quarter. McDonald County leading 7-6. All of our points coming back in the opening quarter of play. Cassville showing pressure from the edge. Dowd steps up into the pocket, sees some opening, and he's going to run. He's across the 50, gets to the sidelines, takes on contact, picks up the first down, and finally knocked out of play at the Cassville 40. And Dowd is one of those quarterbacks that will not slide underneath the defense. He's one of those guys that's looking to match helmet to shoulder pads.
And he did right there, ran over one of the Wildcat defenders before he was forced out of bounds on the play. Showed some decent speed right there, got around, took the contact, and ran right through it.
Gain of 18 yards on the run by Destin Dowd. First and 10 Mustangs at the Cassville 40. They hand the ball to Sosif. Up the middle he goes. He's got some running room. He's inside the 35, drags the guy along down to the 33. It's a gain of 7.
Mustangs moving the football. Wildcats had a great opportunity with the Mustangs behind the chains, 3rd and about 13. And Dowd with his running ability able to pick up that big first down on 3rd down and keep the drive alive.
So this time 2nd down and short from the 33 of the Wildcats. McDonald County with the 7-6 lead. We're down to 6 minutes left to play in the 3rd. Sosif again with the carry. He's across the 30, down inside the 28 to the 27, and picks up another McDonald County first down.
They just keep falling forward, these backs and quarterback of the Mustangs. You haven't seen them tonight very often getting moved backward. They take the contact and seem to find a way to keep falling forward at the end of these runs.
It's a gain of nearly 6. First and 10, McDonald County, Cassville 27. And pressure from the edge, and someone may have broke the plane there, as Cassville's linebacking core trying to anticipate the snap of the football, and someone got in there too close, and 5 yards marked off against the Wildcats. So a first and 10 turns into a first and 5 at the 22-yard line of Cassville, with 5:49 and counting left to go here in the 3rd quarter. McDonald County on top, 7-6. And Dowd with the play clock still showing plenty of time. Checks to the sidelines, and they call an audible and check off the original play. Dowd gives the ball to Sosif with a blocker in front. Sosif breaks a tackle and moves ahead to the 15-yard line. With Barton out of there, they've got Jarrett McCool, who is listed at 5'10", 200 pounds, leading the way. And Sosif picks up another McDonald County first down at the Wildcat 11.
Yeah, another big body coming out of that backfield. And a big hole opened up on the right side that time for Sosif to pick up another first down.
Drive continues for the Mustangs. The clock continuing to roll as well. Inside 5 minutes left to go here in the 3rd. Dowd gives the ball to Sosif again. McCool kicks out the linebacker, and Sosif turns it upfield inside the 10, down to the 7. Another nice pickup on first down. They say his knee actually went down, looks like at the 8-yard line. 2nd down and 2. This time Sosif hit in the backfield, but he gets away from that defender and fights his way back to the line of scrimmage. May have even gotten a yard.
Yeah, great play. Wildcat linebacker in the backfield, big shot. Sosif able to bounce off of it, and I think he got another yard.
He did. It's 3rd down and 1. They were facing 2nd down and 2. So big 3rd down play right here. They hand it to Sosif. Sosif sidesteps the defender, walks over another one, and backs his way into the end zone. Touchdown, McDonald County. Well, Sosif got turned around, had his back to the goal line, and he just started powering with the legs and shoved his way across the goal line into the end zone.
Yeah, powerful run there. It was not going to be denied. Just runs extremely hard.
He gets his first rushing touchdown of the night, and the Mustangs extend their lead to 13-6. Now the extra point try by Yaska, and the kick is up, and it is good. And with 4:06 left to go in the 3rd, McDonald County now leads Cassville 14-6. Tonight's 3rd quarter brought to you by J&M Pallet Company. They repair used pallets, build and design new and custom pallets. During this game and the games to come, Jeff reminds team members that through God all things are possible. Phone J&M Pallet Company 847-6732.
Well, for surprisingly, the first time tonight, the big Mustang offensive line kind of imposed their will on the Wildcats after the big 3rd down pickup by the Mustang quarterback on 3rd and very long.
Another 14-play drive, this one covering 79 yards, took 6 minutes off the clock. And McDonald County leads at 14-6 here with 4:06 left to go in the third. Gaskell will tee it up at his own 40. Roark and Bailey will drop back deep for the Wildcats. Yeah, Barton went out of the football game, and they just kind of went to smash mouth power football with the big 210-pound fullback.
Right.
Gaskell waiting the whistle. There it is. He approaches a squib kick down the left hash. And the Wildcats recover between the 30 and the 35. As that was Joseph Kraft diving on the football. And the Wildcats will have it at their own 37.
Well, this is the drive right here. Wildcats have to find a way to move the football. 4 minutes. Just over 4 minutes. 4 minutes and 4 seconds to go here in the third. This is the drive. This offensive series is huge for the Wildcat football team.
1st and 10, Cassville. Down by 8 now after the touchdown by the Mustangs. Bodie Rose gives the ball to Bailey. Nice job planting the foot, cutting back up the middle, and takes it across the 35 out to the 37s, able to pick up nice yardage.
Bailey put that right foot in the ground and immediately turned downfield. And he was so low to the ground right there, Sammy. He was head and shoulders coming down the field. His face mask probably wasn't 2 feet off the ground as he was working his way down the field.
Picks up 5 yards. It'll bring up 2nd down and 5. Twin receivers to the short side of the field along the McDonald County sideline. Rose this time fakes the handoff, wanted to keep it himself, and is wrapped up right at the line of scrimmage. Maybe a half a yard loss, and it's going to bring up 3rd down.
Well, 3rd and about 5 for the Wildcats here. Huge 3rd down play offensively for the Wildcats in this game.
Inside 3 minutes left to go, quarter number 3. McDonald County on top, 14-6. Kraft goes wide to the left. Roark comes out wide to the right. Split backfield behind Rose. Rose fakes the handoff to Jacobson, looking for Roark, and he overthrows everybody. The ball sails over the D-back and the intended receiver, incomplete, and it'll bring up 4th down.
Yeah, trying to get Roark down the field. 2 defenders back there. Rose looked like he felt a little rushed right there. He got rid of that football probably a little quicker than he wanted to.
So McDonald County's defense holds again and forces Cassville to punt. Got a new return man back there with Barton out of the game for the time being. And that is Slight Osborne. This time the punt is blocked as McDonald County comes with pressure. The ball goes out of play, or did it? Destin Dowd scooped it up over here on the McDonald County sideline. The official right there, did he keep his feet in bounds or did it cross the sideline and go out of play? Either way, McDonald County's going to get the football with some great field possession.
Well, they got close a couple of times. They had a roughing the punter call earlier in the game, but they've been coming after these punts all night, and they finally, 2 Mustang defenders right in the face of Rose as he's trying to punt that football. They were able to block it. They're going to take over deep in Wildcat territory.
So with 2.5 left to go here in the third quarter, leading 14-6, McDonald County has the ball at the Cassville 27-yard line after the blocked punt. Dowd gives the ball to Sosif, and Sosif takes on contact and powers down to the 21-yard line. It's a gain of 6, and it'll bring up 2nd down.
Sosif powering over the right side was very successful for the Mustangs in the previous drive.
He is alone back in the backfield with Destin Dowd. And Dowd gives it to him again, running in behind that big offensive line. And second effort by Belosi Sosif may have got him the first down. Nope, they're going to say his knee went down just short, and it'll bring up 3rd down and 1. McDonald County 1 for 2 on third down conversion tries here in the second half. Snap goes to Dowd. He runs in behind Sosef this time. He's got the first down inside the 15. Second effort gets him down close to the 10 before he is stopped. So the Mustangs keep the drive moving, and they are going to give him the 10-yard line for a gain of 8. Dowd leads the Mustangs rushing the ball tonight, as he's got 87 yards on 10 carries. Picks up a big first down there. With 1:09 left to go here in quarter number 3, McDonald County on top 14-6. Dowd this time flanked by the 2 running backs. Gives it to Sosef, running in behind McCool, and he powers his way in for a score.
This time, rather than going power right tackle,
they go off left tackle, and Sosef breaking a couple of tacklers on his way into the end zone. Another powerful run for the big back.
10-yard run for Malosi Sosef. His second rushing touchdown of the night. And the Mustangs add to their lead. They're now on top 20-6. Gasca in to attempt the point after. And the snap back. The kick is up, and it is good. And with 57 seconds left in quarter number 3, McDonald County now leads Cassville 21-6. Tonight's third quarter brought to you by J&M Pallet Company, where pallets are customized to fit your needs. Their motto is "In God We Trust." Jeff and Avid Wildcats supporters just a call away at 847-6732. Well, a lengthy drive of 6 minutes and 80 yards, followed by a short drive after the blocked punt of only 27 yards in 4 plays. And the back-to-back touchdowns have McDonald County now out to a 2-possession lead.
Well, you're starting to see the size of the Mustangs take its toll on this Wildcat football team, it appears, here late in the third quarter. As the previous 2 drives, they've just bulldozed their way into the end zone.
So the Mustangs will now kick it away to the Wildcats. And we've got a new kicker out there, Thomas Dela Cruz. He will be doing the kicking duties now. It's Colton Roark and Kyle Bailey back inside their own 15. Dela Cruz kicks the squib down the left hash, and the Wildcats recover at their own 30-yard line. As falling on the football is Sky Yang. It'll be 1st and 10 Wildcats at the 30 with 56 seconds left here in the third. Kraft, the receiver, to the left. Roark splits out wide to the right. Bodie Rose back up under center. And the handoff goes to the first man through. That was Bailey, and Bailey is stacked up as he gets out across the 30-yard line. He gains only a yard, and it'll bring up 2nd down and 9. So 2nd down and long for Cassville. Bailey's got the lone score tonight for the Wildcats. His 3rd rushing touchdown of the year. But the Mustangs lead 21-6 here in the closing seconds of the third. McDonald County stays with the 4-man front. Rose rolling to his left, throwing across his body, lofts one up in the air, coming back to the football and looking like he made the catch over there on the far side, or did he? And they say no, he could not keep possession of the football. Did a really nice job of recognizing the ball being a little underthrown and was coming back to help out his quarterback. That was Colton Roark, but he couldn't come all the way back and get his hands underneath it, and it falls incomplete. 3rd down and 9 facing the Wildcats.
Well, Rose rolling to his left and really having to turn on the jets to get some space to square the shoulders and try to throw the football down the field. And you said it, Roark, really nice job of seeing the football, adjusting the football, hitting the brakes, and coming back to it. Looked like he had the ball, the official right there to call it incomplete.
So 3rd down and 9. Rose this time throwing into traffic, and it's intercepted by Pacheco. And Pacheco takes it down to the Cassville 20 before he is driven out of bounds, and that'll be the final play of the third quarter. As we head to the fourth, it'll be Mustang football. They lead at 21-6. Back after this break, you're listening to Big 8 Football here on the Talon Network. Final 12 minutes on the clock here in Anderson. The Mustangs lead the Wildcats 21-6, and Josh Pacheco has just intercepted the football and returned it to the Cassville 20-yard line, where the Mustangs will have it for the first play of quarter number 4. Tonight's fourth quarter brought to you by First State Bank in Cassville. They came to Main Street in Cassville over 26 years ago to help their friends and neighbors reach their financial goals. Dowd throwing to Pacheco on the slant once again, and this time Bodie Rose had the coverage on the receiver, and Kyle Bailey nearly stepped into the passing lane and did to Dowd what Pacheco just did to Rose, but the pass goes incomplete. That was close.
Bailey, and that's probably a touchdown. If he steps in front, if he's able to jump that route, there is nobody out in front of him. Incomplete pass nonetheless.
Mustangs back to the line of scrimmage. They give the ball to a new ball carrier. Into the game for his first carry tonight is Maddox Fegan. He is a sophomore. And he'll take it down to the 17-yard line for a gain of 3. (21-6) McDonald County on top here early in the fourth quarter. Mustangs knocking on the door after the Cassville interception. Sosip gets the call. Big hole up the middle, and he takes it down to the 10-yard line. Still on his feet. Pushes ahead for an extra yard or two, and it's going to be first and goal Mustangs.
Yeah, when you're tired late in the game, and then you still have to deal with a big 200-plus pound back coming at you at full speed, it just wear you out.
It's a gain of 9. First and goal from the 8. Here's Sosa again. Sosa, big hole off left tackle. Breaks the tackle at the 3 and dives into the end zone. Touchdown Mustangs. Sosa with his third rushing touchdown of the night.
And you're looking at a tired Wildcat defense right now. A couple of short fields that they've had to try to defend. And the Mustangs just pound right at the Wildcats. Sosa, third touchdown of the night.
McDonald County extends their lead to 27-6 now with 11 minutes left to go in the football game. And we've got an injured player on the goal line. Looks like Anthony D'Amico, or was it Sosa? And it was Sosa. He was a little slow getting up there. But he is hustling off the field under his own power, so that's a good sign for him after the 8-yard touchdown run to add to the McDonald County lead. And it will once again be Richard Gaska in to attempt the point after. And snaps a little high, but the ball, I should say, is down on the tee, and Gaska puts it through the uprights. And that makes it 28-6 in favor of McDonald County early on here in the fourth quarter. Mustangs led 7-6 at the half, and they've scored on all 3 of their possessions here in the second half, 2 of those having short fields to work with. They took advantage of those short fields after a block punt and an interception. Put a couple of touchdowns on the board, and they have opened up a 28-6 lead.
Yeah, the Wildcat defense was on the field most of the third quarter, and as I said earlier, you're seeing a defense that's just tired right now, and especially trying to defend a short field, and these big offensive linemen leaning on them all night, and big backs coming at them. It's just too much late in this football game for the Wildcats.
Again, tonight's fourth quarter brought to you by First State Bank in Cassville. Convert an opportunity into a reality at First State Bank. Bailey and Roark back deep, awaiting the kick of the Mustangs. And De La Cruz drives it all the way back to the 5-yard line. Colton Roark will bring it out from there. He's across the 15, takes it out to the 20, keeps his feet, and powers his way out to the 25-yard line. Nice return by Colton Roark.
Roark had to go back on the football to catch it, turn around, and you said it, nice return, running the football hard.
They spot him down just shy of the 25 at the 24. A pair of receivers out to the right side for the Wildcats. Bodie Rose with the split backfield behind him. He'll give the handoff to the second man through, and a big hold for Kyle Bailey, and out across the 30 all the way out to the 33-yard line. Nice run on first down for Cassville and Kyle Bailey.
Definitely. Power football off the right tackle. Bailey shooting through that line of scrimmage, tripped up in the linebacking core, but nice play there on first down.
It's a gain of 8, second down and 2 facing Cassville. Clock moving inside, 10.5 minutes left to go in the game. McDonald County on top, 28-6. Bodie Rose this time going to keep it himself, and he is swarmed under back at the 30-yard line. It's going to be a loss on the play. One of those big defensive tackles broke through and got to the Cassville quarterback and dropped him for a 2-yard loss.
Yeah, the Mustangs starting to make some more substitutions in that defensive side of the football.
So third down and about 4 to go for Cassville at their own 30. And the handoff this time to Bailey, and Bailey is stacked up. Second effort gets him maybe a yard on the carry, and it's going to bring up fourth down. So 4th and 3 from the 31, and Cassville will send the punt team on. Back to receive is Slight Osborne. Ever since Spartan went out of the game, we have not seen him come back. They've got him off the trainer's table for a while, but he is just standing over on the sidelines. Kick is away. It bounces at the 37, takes a Cassville roll inside the 30, and then checks up and is blown dead back around the 25-yard line of the Mustangs. Looks like they're going to put it down between the 25 and the 26, and that's where McDonald County will take over.
Yeah, still a nice punt, another nice punt for Rose there, taking advantage of the roll out there, punting away from the return man, angling the punt.
A 43-yard kick and no return. McDonald County football at their own 26. Mustangs lead at 28-6 here, not quite halfway through the fourth quarter. Destin Dowd still in there at quarterback for the time being. He's got a new running back alongside, though, and he gets the call, and around the right end he comes, bangs off at one man and takes it out to the 35-yard line, and that was Adrian Short. He's a 6-foot, 150-pound junior, and good second effort by him as he is able to pick up 9 yards, and it'll bring up second down and 1.
Just showed a nice burst of speed there. Able to get on the edge, take some contact.
A pair of running backs flanking Dowd now, and Short gets the call, and this time in the backfield, and a big tackle for a loss Hunter Morris as he came flying in from the left side and got to Short just about the same time he got the football.
Yeah, quick play. Nice read there by Morse, firing through that line of scrimmage.
It's a loss of 4 back to the 31-yard line. And it'll bring up 3rd down and almost 6 to go. Cassville showing blitz again, this time a couple of linebackers sneaking up into the gaps on the right side of the Cassville defense. Dowd takes a look at him, tried to get him to jump, they didn't. Calls for the ball again, and now they're going to have to burn a timeout. He was clapping for the football, and they haven't changed offensive linemen yet. They've changed some running backs and receivers, but the center could not hear that Dowd was wanting the football, and he has lined up in the shotgun all night long, and they don't go with the traditional cadence. He'll call out a few signals, but then when he wants the snap, he'll clap his hands, and depending on what play they've got called, sometimes immediately at the clap of the hands, he gets the snap. Sometimes there's about a half a second delay, and center and quarterback supposed to know what's supposed to be going on there. But that time, Dowd was clapping and clapping and clapping, and the ball wasn't coming his way, and it cost him a little bit.
Right, the Wildcats were showing blitz on that right side, so they looked to the sideline to check out of the original play, and once they got back into the play, that play clock was ticking down towards 0. He's trying to get the snap, and coaching staff on the sideline. The timeout came from the sideline.
So they got the timeout called before the delay of game penalty. It remains 3rd down and about 6 to go. Unbalanced to the left side this time for the Mustangs. And they run back against the grain. No, Dowd's going to keep it on the ball fake, trying to get to the Cassville sideline, and he gets to the edge, and he's got the 1st down and more. Picks up a block downfield and takes it all the way across the 50 into Cassville territory.
Little zone read there in the backfield. Dowd just keeps it, works his way straight across the field to the Wildcat sideline, turned down the sideline, broke a couple of tackles, and a big gain there, again on 3rd down by Dowd.
22-yard pickup for Dowd, and that puts him over 100 yards rushing on the night. It'll move the chains and keep the drive alive for the Mustangs. They lead at 28-6 here with 7 minutes left to play in the 4th quarter. This time the handoff goes to Short, and Short running in behind the offensive line to the right side. Moves it inside the 45, down to the 44. Picks up about 3 yards. It'll bring up 2nd down and 7.
Mustangs taking their time here, using this clock as it ticks down. 6.5 minutes to go in the ball game.
Yeah, they're using as much of the play clock as they can. Now quickly up to the line of scrimmage. 7 seconds on the play clock. Dowd takes the snap, gives it to Short again. Big hole around the right end. He's got the 1st down at the 35. As McDonald County once again moving the chains.
Dakota Bowen coming up from his safety position to make the play.
It's a gain of 9 for Short. He's got 17 yards on 4 carries. And the Mustangs with the opportunity to run a little more clock here with under 6 minutes to go in the football game, leading 28-6. 3 second-half touchdowns have given McDonald County some breathing room, and now they're trying to run out the clock and pick up their 3rd win of the year and get back above the 500 mark. Dowd keeps the ball on the quarterback keeper. Around the end he goes, makes a man miss at the 30, takes it down to the 25, and still on his feet all the way down inside the 20.
Dowd hit right at the line of scrimmage, head on, bang. And he's able to kind of step back, adjust from it, and downfield he goes. Very difficult to tackle tonight.
We'll see where they spot it down. Looks like they're going to put it at the 17-yard line. So it's a gain of 18 more yards for Dowd. And another 1st down for the Mustangs. Clock moving inside, 5 minutes now left. Adrian Short gets the call around the left end, turns it upfield, tries to sneak down close to the 10, didn't quite make it there as the Cassville defense collapses on him. He is able to move ahead to the 13 for a gain of 4. It'll bring up 2nd down and 6. Unbalanced to the right side. Dowd with Short next to him, gives the ball to Short. Short powers it off right tackle, still keeps the legs churning inside the 10, down to about the 8, as he is able to pick up 5 more yards, and it'll bring up a 3rd down and 1. Mustangs up to the line of scrimmage. Plenty of time on the play clock on 3rd and 1. Dowd going to check off the play. Takes a quick glance to the sidelines. Now back up. Ready for the snap. There it is. He gives it to Short. Short pushes ahead. If they give him the 5, he's got the 1st down. We'll see where they spot the football. Big pile of players out there between the hashes.
It is.
And they are
right
signaling.
after 5.
They're signaling 1st down. 1st and goal, McDonald County, after the 2.5-yard gain by Short. McDonald County on 1st and goal, off left tackle, fighting for the end zone, and the ball comes loose, and they signal Cassville football right now. One's pointing Cassville ball, and the other one's saying a touchback.
Second time tonight the Mustangs have fumbled the football into the end zone, and the Wildcats have recovered. Ball will come out to the 20.
Well, you don't see that happen much over the course of a season. We've seen it 3 times tonight. The ball fumbled at the goal line.
Yeah, well, twice fumbled into the end zone.
Two of those fumbles at the goal line coming from McDonald County, and Cassville has it 1st and 10 at their own 20 with 3:30 left to play, down 28-6. Handoff goes to Rourke. To the Cassville sideline he goes, turns it upfield, and is knocked out of play over there around the 30-yard line.
Jet sweep coming from left to right. Rourke taking the handoff. Good gain there, nearly picking up the 1st down.
If they give him 9 yards, 2nd down and 1.
It's a good opportunity here for this Wildcat offense. There's not enough time in this game to come back, but to build a little confidence heading into next week in the offense.
Whistles sound at the snap of the football on 2nd down and short.
Wildcats had 2 people moving there, so.
Procedure penalty against Cassville. The 4th flag against the Wildcats for a total of 30 yards. That'll back them up to the 24. And it'll be 2nd down and 6. (28-6), McDonald County with the lead here. 3.5 left to go in the football game. Tonight's 4th quarter brought to you by First State Bank in Cassville. Convert an opportunity into reality at First State Bank. Cosmo Rhodes, the tight end, resets around to the right side. Cassville running the ball that way. Bailey gets hit as he receives the handoff from Bodie Rose. Does not go down on first contact, which he hardly ever does. He's able to pick up a half a yard, maybe a full yard out to the 25, and it'll bring up 3rd down.
Clock ticking down, under 3 minutes remaining here.
So 3rd down for the Wildcats. Down 28-6. Bodie Rose up under center. Straight drop, looking for Rourke on the slant, and a diving interception. Did he get his hands underneath it? The cornerback, Breck Rubick, and he did get the hands underneath the ball before it hit the turf. And Rubick comes up with the 2nd interception of the night for the McDonald County defense.
Rubick had a nice job in coverage right there. Did not let Rourke cut in front of his face. Read the route, read the throw. Made a really nice diving interception there.
So McDonald County is going to get the ball back at the Cassville 36-yard line. With 2.5 left to go, they give the ball to Adrian Short. Short's got blockers in front, and he's got some running room. He's inside the 30. and takes it down close to the 25-yard line. They do give him the 25 for a gain of 11 and a first down for the Mustangs. Quickly snapping the football, handoff goes to Short again. Makes a quick cut back at the hash mark and moves ahead close to the 20-yard line. It's a gain of nearly 5, and it'll bring up second down and 5. Short, who has just come in here in the fourth quarter, has already got 44 yards rushing. And it's a second down and 5 at the Cassville 20.
Done a pretty nice job as a third-string running back tonight, hasn't he?
Yes, he has. Down to 90 seconds left to play. McDonald County leading 28-6. Destin Dowd gives the ball to Short. This time they'll try the right side, and he is spun down by Morris, and then a flag comes out. And Morris may have got him up around the helmet or the face mask, and Morris kind of got his leg twisted underneath him, but he is appearing to just be suffering from a cramp as he's being helped out by one of his teammates. The officials meeting at the 20 to see what the flag is about. And it is going to be a face mask against Cassville. And since he kind of spun him around, it may be the big one. Nope. They're just going to move it down inside the 15 to the 14. It'll be 1st and 10 from the 14-yard line with 1:20 left to play.
And it appears the Mustangs are going to line up in the victory formation here.
Yep, they can run out the clock now without doing anything but taking a knee. There's 20 seconds on the play clock, so they can let that tick down. And before they snap the football, we'll be inside a minute left to play here in the fourth quarter. And then they'll only have to snap the ball one more time. So Dowd, for the first time tonight, up under center. Well, I take that back. He tried to clock the ball that one time and stop the clock. He got under center for that one,
yeah.
So this time he takes the snap, takes the knee. We'll see how quickly the officials blow the clock, and they've already started the play clock, and it's about 3 seconds off from the game clock, so McDonald County will have to snap the ball one more time. And the Mustangs do so, and they improve to 3-2. McDonald County defending the home turf tonight as they beat the Cassville Wildcats 28-6. A hard-fought Big 8 West football game. McDonald County was able to take advantage in the second half as they scored 3 times in the second half of play. 2 of those touchdowns coming in the third quarter, and they go on to a 28-6 victory. We'll step aside, be back with the post-game show brought to you by Post Electric. You're listening to Big 8 Conference Football here on the Talon Network. Back with you here at McDonald County. The Mustangs defeat the Cassville Wildcats 28-6. It was a 7-6 lead for the Mustangs at halftime as they led by only a single point, but then they scored 2 third-quarter touchdowns, an 8-yard run by Melosi Sosif that capped off a 14-play, 79-yard drive. And then, with 57 seconds left in the third quarter, a 10-yard run by Sosif, and that capped off a 4-play, 27-yard drive after a Cassville blocked punt. And the Mustangs had a 21-6 lead. They cap off the scoring on the third rushing touchdown of the half by Sosif with 11 minutes left to go in the football game. An 8-yard plunge that came after a Cassville turnover. And those 3 quick scores in the matter of about a little over half a quarter, late in the third and then into the early fourth, turned the tables against the Wildcats and turned things in favor of the home team, the Mustangs, and they go on to the 28-6 victory.
Yeah, tough football game. Big physical football team the Wildcats were going up against tonight, and they just wore the Wildcats down in that second half.
Looking at some of the total numbers for the Mustangs, they carried the ball 54 times for 328 yards, 6 of 11 through the air for 88 yards for 416 yards of offense. Mustangs racked up 22 first downs. They turned it over twice on fumbles. They were penalized 5 times for 60 yards and punted once for 47 yards. The Wildcats carried the ball 27 times for 100 yards, 2 for 10 through the air for 42 yards. Wildcats held to 142 yards of offense tonight, picked up 7 first downs. They turned it over 3 times, 2 interceptions and 1 lost fumble. 5 penalties against Cassville for 35 yards, and they punted 3 times for a 48-yard average. Some of the individual numbers, Melosi Sosif, 97 yards unofficially on 22 carries and 3 touchdowns. Destin Dowd, quarterback for the Mustangs, carried for 127 yards on the night. And Josh Pacheco hauled in a touchdown reception for McDonald County as well. Cassville's leading ball carrier was Kyle Bailey as he carried the ball for 35 yards on 9 carries and a touchdown. Bodie Rose was held at 28 yards rushing, and Bryson Jacobson 22 yards rushing. Bailey also had a catch for 37 yards as he had over 75 yards of total offense on the night to lead the Cassville Wildcats. But McDonald County wins it 28-6 as we continue on with the Post Electric postgame show. Post Electric, if you're building a new home or remodeling, call Post Electric first. You'll be shocked at what they can do for you. We've got to visit with Coach Weldy here in just a moment. We've also got our post-game awards to be handed out before we wrap things up here tonight in Anderson. So we'll take another break and let you hear from our sponsors. Back with more of the Post Electric post-game right after this. Back at McDonald County, the Mustangs win at 28-6 over the Cassville Wildcats as we continue on with the Post Electric post-game show. Moving into a new storefront, call Post Electric first. You'll be shocked at what they can do for you. 846-7100. It's now time for the post-game interview with Coach Clay Weldy. It's brought to you by the Law Office of John A. Leewright. They proudly support the Wildcats. And the Law Office of John A. Leewright wants everyone to remember, if you don't talk, you may walk, and to call 417-847-2177. That's 847-2177. Well, Coach, a tough one tonight, a bruising Big 8 conference game through the first half of play. And then McDonald County put together a long drive that got their first score of the second half to give themselves the single possession lead. But then a blocked punt and a turnover got two quick scores for the Mustangs, and that kind of turned the game upside down, and they go on to the win.
Yeah, we played a really good first half, and we were playing physical, and they are very massive up front. I told you this week I was worried about their size. Their quarterback actually weighs more than 10 of our stars on defense. It tells you a lot about their size. And we were right at 7-6 at halftime, and we had momentum going in. We got to stop. They were down, had a chance to score. We held them out at the very end of the half and had momentum, and I felt really good about where we were at. We get the ball for the half, and we come out, and we just started making mistakes. And, I mentioned we're a young team, and we just made a lot of self-inflicted things, and next thing you know, we have an interception, give them the short field, and they score. We have another bad possession deep in our territory that leads to a punt. We make mistakes in the punt team. Leads to a block punt, and they had almost got to us 2 or 3 times beforehand. And then short field again, and it's 2 quick scores. And, I think the third quarter is probably the worst half of football, or worst quarter of football we played all year. I mean, we just made so many mistakes and, gave them momentum and gave them opportunities. And, they're a good enough team as it is. You don't have to help somebody out like that. And then I think the fourth quarter, their size began wearing on us, and they were able to start, making bigger plays, and we had a lot of missed tackles, and our guys were going both ways because we're not very deep right now. It started showing, and it's like we had one team going at halftime. It was one team. We come out second half, and a team I'd never seen before showed up, and I hope that team stays wherever they are, and I never see them again because we were a Jekyll and Hyde tonight.
Yeah, and what happened early in the football game, you probably really liked the response early on because McDonald County did what they wanted to do that opening drive. They wanted the football, and they used their size to march right down the field, took 6 minutes off the clock, and punched it in. But your kids regrouped and answered that score with a nice lengthy drive of your own that took over 4 minutes off the clock, and it's a ball game right off the bat.
Yeah, we have a really good drive, and we do, and that's the thing. It's frustrating. We come out in the first drive, and we were clicking, and we do a lot of good things. And it seemed like from that point on, we just couldn't get out of our own way. And that's been a theme of this team, that we look really good at times, and at other times it seems like we're just trying to find ways to make life as difficult as possible on ourselves. It's a sign of an experience, and I knew this would be kind of the case this year with this group, and I keep waiting for us. We're trying to get in practice, find us getting through that, taking the next step where we are not hurting ourselves with going the wrong spot, misalignment, offsides. I mean, we just do so many things like that. I don't know how many times this year we've been 2nd and 1 and getting offsides, or we're on the goal line, 1st and goal, and we fumble the ball in the 1. We've done that 3 times this year, and it's stuff that I can't remember in my 18 years of coaching that stuff happening. Right. We've had so much of that this year, and it's been frustrating. And this group, there's times we look so good. And so I just keep waiting for us to put a 4-quarter game together where we actually can stop hurting ourselves. And it's in us. It's there. I'm just waiting for it to happen.
Yeah, it was crazy tonight to see 3 times the ball fumbled at the goal line. Now, twice was the McDonald County Mustangs doing it. But you see that maybe once a year. We saw it 3 times tonight as teams were going in to score, and suddenly the ball's on the ground.
Yeah, so we created 2 of them, and so you kind of feel it's a wash, and we gained a thing there. But it's been kind of a crazy year. I've seen more off the wall plays and weird things this year, I feel like, than I've seen in a long time. And a part of it is our conference is so tough. We talked about last week playing East Newton, how much better they are, and there's not a bad team in our league, and it's just such a tough league, and you get scores around the league. Everything's close. There's no blowouts. It's just really tough physical games, and we got to find a way to get out of this one and get healthy again and play another tough Class 4 school in Nevada next week.
Kyle Bailey had another nice night for you, nearly 80 yards of total offense. The kid continues to just pound away and pick up yardage for you, and he gets the touchdown tonight.
Yeah, he's a tough kid. He had a nice catch too on a play that set up the fumble on the 1 yard line. But yeah, he's had a really nice year, and he's playing both ways. He's playing very physical. I've been very proud of how well he's played. I mentioned this, last time we were on the air. He blew his knee out last year, and this is his first year playing varsity, and he's making up for how hard he plays and how physical he plays for us.
Well, I know it's never a good thing when you're bragging on your punter, but in the case of tonight, you'd never want to give a team with the size of McDonald County short fields to work with, and Bodie Rose got you out of the hole a couple of different times as he averaged nearly 50 yards a kick tonight, and that was key to keeping you in the ball game until the second half.
He's done that all year for us. He's been a very good punter. I look back at some games, and he's flipped field for us, and it makes it tough for a high school offense to go the length of the field, and he's done it for us several times. So that's been a weapon, but the problem is we got to work on some protection stuff. We've had 2 punts blocked this year, and it's been stuff that we did wrong. It's stuff we got to work, and we've worked and worked stuff, but it seems like we find new ways to create problems for ourselves, and so got some more issues to fix.
Well, we've reached the midway point and now moved into the second half. 3 of your first 5 were on the road. You get 3 of your last 4 at home, and that'll be nice to have those home games next week. Nevada coming to town. Yeah,
we have 3 or 4 at home this back stretch, and we talked to our kids. Our first 4 games of the year were all district opponents, and now we're playing people we'll only see once. We're going to see 3 Class 4 schools this last 5 weeks, and so we're seeing some tough physical teams, and Nevada's going to be a big challenge for us this week moving forward, especially what they do offensively and defensively. So, our plan is to try to get better each week, and hopefully we're playing our best football come district time. So we talked about this last 5 weeks here is going to be seeing who gets better going to district play in the last 5 weeks.
Yeah, Nevada, a lot of people thought with what they lost to graduation they were going to have a down year, but they're still unbeaten, and they're trying to go 5-0 as they're leading Mount Vernon right now late in the football game in a shootout up there in Vernon County. 2 teams have combined for over 70 points, but right now Nevada leading the way.
Yeah, Nevada, they lost some skill kids, but they brought back all their linemen, and what they do offensively, that's the most important thing for them. So they return their most important pieces, which the guys up front. So they're going to get in that single wing of Coach Beechler and going to run the ball and be pulling 1 million guys up there. And they got a kid going to Colorado, and it's a big lineman, and they got a lot of size. Their backs, we've seen on film now, their backs run hard, and if you have linemen like they have, if your backs run hard, it's going to be tough to stop. So it's going to be a great challenge for us this week.
Well, Coach, we know you got a long trip home, so we'll let you get on out of here, get your kids, and get headed back to Cassville. But we thank you for your time, and we'll look forward to catching up with you again next week.
Thanks, Sammy.
Hey, Coach Clay Weldy joining us here for the postgame interview, brought to you by the Law Office of John A. Leewright. They proudly support the Wildcats, and their professional personnel believe in your rights to a fair hearing and representing you with the utmost expertise, integrity, and excellence. Call the Law Office of John A. Leewright at 847-2177. That's 847-2177. We'll be back to wrap up the Post Electric postgame show right after this. Back to wrap things up here at McDonald County. The Mustangs win it tonight over the Cassville Wildcats. We have to hand out our post-game awards. First up, our hard hit of the night, and it is brought to you by Berry County Ready Mix. For any and all of your ready mix stone or aggregate needs, stop by Berry County Ready Mix at any of their convenient locations in Shell Knob, Cassville, or Eagle Rock. You can call their Cassville office for a free estimate today at 847-3200. That's 847-3200. Our hard hit of the night, Kyle Bailey. He had a big stick on the big fullback for McDonald County, Melosi Sosif, and he gets our hard hit of the night. This doesn't happen very much, but it happened tonight. Our player of the game is also Kyle Bailey. And our Wildcat player of the game is brought to you by Fast Trip at 104 South Main in Cassville. Great prices and friendly service is what you'll find at Fast Trip. Stop by today. Locally owned by Mike and Anita Carr. Kyle Bailey had a nice night defensively, but he also led the Wildcats with nearly 80 yards of total offense. He had 30-plus on the ground, nearly 40 on a reception, and he also scored the only touchdown of the night. So Kyle Bailey, a little double dip tonight, our hard hit of the night and our Wildcat player of the game. Congratulations to him. Some other games around the Big 8 here in week number 5. We're moving to week number 6 into the second half. Next Friday night, Seneca beats Monette 56-0. Aurora over Hollister 62-7. Another final, Lamar knocks off East Newton 28-0. Some late scores in the fourth quarter, Reed Spring and Marshfield in a shootout. The Wolves lead the Blue Jays 49-32. And up north in Nevada, the battle of unbeatens between Mount Vernon and Nevada. It's 40-34, Nevada with the lead. And that game late in the fourth quarter in another shootout. And then we've got one other score, and haven't got a fourth quarter score on this one yet, but Rogersville had the lead over Springfield Catholic in Springfield 28-0, as the Irish had yet to score a point in that game heading into the fourth quarter. And we probably won't get a final on that one, as that one a little slow coming in here in week number 5. Next week, we move to week 6. Cassville back at home, taking on Nevada. And as Coach Weldy said, a big Nevada team coming in. They're trying to remain unbeaten as they're leading Mount Vernon right now late in the football game. And we've got a final now from Springfield Catholic. Rogersville beats the Irish 28-6. So the Irish score their first points of the year. Everyone was wondering who was going to give up that first score, and Rogersville did it. We don't know the circumstances. Everyone may have been putting the second units in there in that one. We don't know. But Springfield Catholic finally gets some points on the board. Took them 5 football games to do it, but they finally get some points tonight against Rogersville.
Yeah, that's a tough one. 5 weeks into the season before you get on the board. But, yeah, interesting scores around. I wish it would update and give us a final on the Mount Vernon Nevada game. It doesn't look like that's going to happen while we're on the air. But we're 5 weeks through this season. We've got another big physical football team coming to Cassville next week. So that's going to be Wildcats going to have to prepare and get ready to play another physical football game.
That's exactly right. Well, we'll be looking forward to being with you next Friday night from Wildcat Stadium. We hope you join us in here on the Talon Network and on Web TV, as we'll be along for the broadcast next week. Before we get out of here tonight, we'd like to thank Athletic Director Bo Bergen for his help this evening. He's limited on the facilities he has to offer here, but he does the best that he can, and we appreciate him. Thank goodness it didn't rain tonight, or he may have had to help us out a little more, but fortunately it turned out to be a nice night weather-wise here in McDonald County tonight, so we didn't have to worry about the rain coming down on our heads here this evening. We'd like to thank Coach Weldy for stopping by and visiting with us, as he always does. We appreciate all of his help throughout the season. Thanks to all of our sponsors also for supporting our coverage, whether on the radio or online or on Web TV. You hear them mentioned here again in the postgame wrap-up. They are the folks that help us get Wildcat football out on the airwaves, and we thank them so very much for supporting our broadcast in Cassville High School athletics. And thanks again to Dwayne and Janet for keeping an eye on the things and everything else back at the studios, as they are helping us out kind of behind the scenes as well. We always appreciate their help. Well, that's going to wrap up our coverage here tonight from McDonald County. Once again, our final score, the Mustangs beat the Wildcats 28-6. Speaking for Jeremy and Todd, this is Sammy Clapper saying thanks so much for joining us, and good night from Anderson.